boyfriend.
All right,
now
here we go.
3 years ago boyfriend.
Here we go.
I'm not joking either.
Everybody shut up so Steve can start. Steve wants to get going. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 203 of the My Wife Is Gonna Kill Me podcast. It's time. It's time to get back to the mics. I'm excited. I am fired up today. I've got some things on my mind. Can't wait to share them with all who is present, which is a lot of people today. Travis had decided to have a party, I think. He does this. So not only do we have the two best co-hosts a host could have with Travis Bowles. How you doing, Trav?
That's me.
Next to him and across from me is Pete McCarthy. How are you, Pete?
I'm doing well, Steven. Thanks for asking.
And we have a return guest that has not been here in quite some time. One of our earliest guests.
Steve's anxiety. He's really struggling today, folks. So bear with us.
I'd like to welcome Joe Crazy Bill Watson here. How you doing, Bill?
Hey, boys. It's good to be back.
Put that mic right up to your face.
Get
You
right
got me
out.
now?
Yeah, that's good. I know that one's a
Can I just
pain in
hold
the
it
butt.
like a game show host?
You
You
can.
can hold it like we call that the Matthew Rodriguez. But you have to lean back and kind of like, and you
You gotta act
almost
like
have
it's
to
your show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget to cup the balls.
Yeah,
Like this?
Yeah.
We good now? You got it?
that's pretty good. That's better. I'm gonna turn you up when I get a chance here, but yes, that'll work.
All right.
Yeah. So welcome, Bill. We're glad to have you here. How you been?
I've been good. I've been fighting a good fight trying to get a house built, but I'm here now. I live here now.
I'm glad you're not homeless. You look at
I'm not homeless. I'm working on it. It was a commitment, and yeah, I'm gonna go with it.
So there's this bum that's up in Whitehall that you hear about, and I
Really?
was like, yeah, I know that now. But when I'd hear people talking about him, I'd be like, no, that's just Bill. He moved up there.
You said his name was Willie?
Willie. Yep.
Okay.
You'll meet him.
You see him?
Yeah, he'll take your shopping cart someday. So that's not all, though. We've got more frosting on this cake. With us all the way from Puerto Rico, Holland, Michigan. There's a little section of Puerto Rico in Holland, Michigan. The man who's never been to Puerto Rico cannot speak
Puerto Rican.
Spanish or Puerto Rican or anything. But we lovingly refer to him. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. Hang on.
While Steve's figuring that out, we'd like to welcome everybody from YouTube.
I'm paused.
We're live this morning.
Oh,
So it's Bill's microphone cable is what it is.
yeah.
So, but Travis Bowles, Steve Bisciotti, I'm Pete McCarthy. Our two guests, Matt Rodriguez and Joe Crazy Bill Watson. Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. We just need a different. It's got to be the cord, right? Right.
I don't know where. That's not one of our mics. I don't think.
Yeah, it is.
Is it one of the originals?
Well, it's got a sticker on it that says one of our
it
names.
does. It does.
Dude, this is one of the original.
It is.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It is.
That's originally my mic.
That's why it's broken.
Still, just stop touching it. Stop moving it.
That is fucking annoying.
There, now talking to it. Don't touch
You better
it.
touch it first. Yeah, make sure you touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Now talk into it, but touch it when you're talking to it.
Test.
That works.
How's this working?
That sounds great.
I'm gonna try and be good.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, it sounds good, but it's just.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, YouTube. We're gonna hit record, get back to the show. We're gonna pretend like this never happened.
My
So,
hard-earned Patreon money.
Yeah, so hopefully we got that under control. But I was in the midst of introducing Matthew Rodriguez.
best ever, best one ever.
Hey,
So good.
hello.
Big old
Hola.
right on fucking
Hola.
YouTube.
Thank you for having me.
Donata.
What are you doing here?
You know what? What am I doing here? I can't wait to have you guys on my podcast, and I'm like, hey, Why don't you speak Polish? Aren't you Polish? You're supposed to be.
I
You know
just
what?
did.
Go fuck
He
yourself.
just did. He just
Um,
got Polished.
I just got Polished across
Face.
my face. You know what? Honestly, I missed you guys, and I've been noticing a lot of the fun you've been having the past couple episodes, and I invited myself.
You're more of a listener now than you've ever been.
That is true. This is the most consecutive episodes I've ever actually listened to, which is a 3.
And the
You
last
got
couple,
me beat.
in the last couple, I haven't even spoon fed to you, have I?
No, you know what? I've been doing good. I made a promise to myself to be a better Matthew in 2021, and I no longer have Steve link me the new episodes. I actually go and find them on my own.
Wow.
It's really tough.
It's a whole
Usually
new,
he used
it's a
to
whole
do-
new world, Aladdin.
I used to get a text, is there a new episode out? Yes. Oh.
Matthew's a big boy now.
And then I have to send it
No,
to him.
okay. You want to know this? So Podomatic. That's what I listen to, and if I open it through the app, it will randomly play. Like I'll pause it and I'll go do something else, and then if I shut off what I'm doing, it'll randomly start that back up. And I'm not joking. My phone is on my desk 3 days ago, and there's customers. To my brother-in-law's customers next to me, and all of a sudden, it's something about Steven looking like a fucking duck, wearing a stupid mask, and something about titties and stuff. Like I'm literally lunging for my phone because all of a sudden you're reading, or I think Travis is reading,
Yeah.
like who has the
Comments.
best comment.
Yeah, caption of the photo.
And it was some like
Congrats, Nate Strong.
it was some retired guy
yeah.
and his son like getting ready to buy a truck from us. I'm like, sorry about that, guys. And they look at me like, are you listening to some sort of weird porn or something on your phone?
They're giving you side eye.
Yeah. So that's why I don't do that at work anymore.
I was a couple nights ago. I was watching the end of the Ted Bundy, the Confessions special on Netflix, and my son happens to round the corner as the detective goes, and that's when Mr. Bundy admitted to necrophilia, and I was like, son of a bitch, because he looks at me and goes, Dad, what's necrophilia? And I was like, relatively inexpensive. I'm just kidding. It cost a lot to get that hospital badge. But no, so I got to explain that to my 10-year-old son, which was super fun. But
What did he think about necrophilia?
I kept it generic, you know. So I didn't tell him the story about Uncle Trav that one time. I said it's when people do bad things to dead bodies, bud.
Well, son, when a man loves a dead girl,
When you say until death do us part, some people want to keep going. So
So you're honestly telling me that, let's say your wife passes away in the middle of the night, and you're the first one to find her there. You're telling me you don't hit one for the road.
well, in today's day and age where everybody has a thermometer around,
I don't know if I'm more embarrassed by your question
See
or
the-
more ashamed about the answer I had in my head.
you can quickly get temperatures nowadays, and you can see how long she's been there. And I think that anything below 86 degrees,
I was gonna say, is it a heated waterbed?
I'm not going after it.
I was actually gonna bring my my thing today.
That's not a good
Anyways.
representation of that, because so when I sleep at everybody has their stuff on their night table.
Yep.
So I've got my little I've got my mouth full of Travis's asshole shit right now because he's a piece of shit.
I promise.
Somebody did.
No, I think
Did you read a comment?
I read a comment. It's fucking great.
And so I got my phone charger, my watch charger, that little caboodle thing, my CPAP machine, my fire pager, and then my liver temp probe. So in case that does happen, I can get a quick liver temp, and then I have a real accurate temperature, and then make the decision based on that. So I love how Cody is yelling from the producer's booth, "You're on YouTube. You can't talk about that."
So,
Have you ever been scared that you've actually committed necrophilia? Because after you're done,
Are you
with-
telling me that you rape your wife in the middle of the night?
Sometimes she's just been so lifeless that I was like,
Steven,
I'm not sure.
This YouTube
Are you
is
okay?
admissible in court.
Huh?
YouTube is admissible in court, so just tread lightly. You know what I mean?
No, I mean she's been fine. Don't be worried for her health.
She
Everything.
wakes up.
Every
She
time
wakes
it's
up.
okay, but there's been a couple times where I've just been like, "Holy shit, did I just do it?" On accident.
The funny thing is, you can imagine his wife, and she's just like, she says, "Hurry up and finish," but before he's done, she falls asleep already.
She says, "Hurry up and finish," and I start crying because I'm just glad she's alive.
10 minutes and 45 seconds. The entire train derailed. People are on fire. It's
So I just want to point out a couple comments here. There's some good ones. I also want to say producer Cody he doesn't want to be involved with us. He moved a TV in here so we could read the comments ourselves.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to. Yeah, of course. David Bond said, "Of course, Matt has a podcast that no one knows about."
Son of a G.
Kind of like his comic
oh
books.
fuck, Corn Boy.
Ryan Gonzalez says she is not dead; she's unsatisfied.
Or she's been having sex with you for so long she wishes she was dead.
10-inch cock says Steve accidentally smothered her. And Cornboy says, "My girlfriend just woke up and said, 'What the F are you listening to?'"
You missed his first comment though. Is Pete going to speak today, or did ABF give him too hard of a beatdown after Pete made up with Bobby Vala?
Ain't that the truth? Let's get
Wow.
into that.
Let's get into that.
get into it.
Yeah, yes. Moving on from necrophilia. We
ABF is like, no, please don't.
we had a
What would he think of this journalistic integrity?
I can't believe he actually considered a journalist. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I mean, a Subway sandwich artist is a culinary specialist. So,
Okay, Trevor, you kicking the table or something? Because your mic's going.
I'm sorry.
wow, he's got a wide stance.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get away from it, but so
The shit in your pants?
just to catch everyone up, because I know a lot of people don't listen to our podcast.
But still love to comment regardless.
The reality of it is, 2 episodes ago, because we got to count the Bobby Vala one, P made some comments about Bobby Vala and Valaverse. However, it was taken. It showed up in Bobby's group for his toy line.
It didn't show up in Bobby's group.
Yes. One of
It,
our.
David
wasn't.
Bond-
It wasn't immaculate deception.
David Bond, who I see right there
Yeah,
in the
he's
comments.
watching.
Yes.
That little
I'm gonna timestamp all of my shit comments
Tattletailing-
today.
You guys
for
have a
him.
trader?
pot
Make it
stirring.
easier.
You have a trader.
He's a toy trader.
I don't.
From Michigan
Honestly, I
Toy
don't
Trader.
think he's a. He probably got us 3 or 4 more listens.
That's
So,
a win.
It's a win.
Take it any way we can get it.
I mean, we didn't get ABF as a
No,
listener,
no, I'm
but-
working on it.
Or a viewer.
But of course, ABF doesn't have his own Facebook group either. So
So
that look like?
we then it got a little heated. There was a lot of stuff said, and what I will say, mostly it was ABF, who I really don't want to spend a lot of time talking about, because I honestly don't even know if he's real. But it kind of got a little ugly in this group, and a big chunk of that was our listeners saying, "Hey, dude, you're a dumbass," which was hilarious. Unfortunately, some of our listeners couldn't say that to him because they can't see him on Facebook.
yeah, he immediately blocked him
Yes,
because
they-
that's his modus operandi.
For some reason, CV is one of them, and Pete and Bobby had a moment. We got them together. They talked, and if
Much
you
to
haven't
Steve's
listened-
dismay.
Yes, if you haven't listened, guess what? They kissed and made up. Okay, and I will say, looking back on this, I have one regret, and that is that we didn't make it the WWFE showdown that it really could have been. But the reality of it is, as smart and entertaining as that would have been, we are so lazy. Maybe not you, Steve.
What?
Okay, we're all lazy. We are so lazy that we wouldn't even go to that level. There was all of these things we could have done, but we're like, nah. But not only are we that lazy, but this is the other part why I think people enjoy listening to us. We're real.
Right.
We're going to be real. And we just kind of decided, hey, let's just handle this like adults probably would, and it won't be as entertaining as it could have been, and we really probably let down all of our listeners. But I think it really was the best way to handle the situation.
I got a couple comments. I think I might be one of the hardest working guys in the toy fandom.
Yeah, you and
So-
ABF, man. You can start your own group.
As far as being lazy, I'm not sure that applies to me because I'm a go-getter, for one.
Well, you know,
Two, I didn't think we really had to hype it up or do anything great because I thought that Bobby was going to come in there and really, take Pete to task. And I was pretty excited for that to happen.
Were you more excited about him taking me to task, or were you more excited about seeing what I could do as far as a rebuttal?
No, I've listened to you and I've listened to Bobby, and I think Bobby would wipe you up and down the floor with his
Okay.
logic.
Bobby Vala, we're going to do this because I can't stand for that. David Bond, 16 minutes in, let him know, all right? Because I'm not going to.
I mean,
I support Valaverse and I support Bobby, but now we got to have a showdown. Now we got to do it right.
Pete's tactics: cut him off, let him so he can't make it so he can't speak, and outloud him. That's all he's got. Bobby will apply logic, reasoning, and if anybody can hear him, that's the only thing he's got. If anybody can hear Bobby, they will say that guy made some great points and Pete's a dumbass.
Does Steven have his resume in at Valaverse right now? Because that's what it sort of sounds like, doesn't it?
Hey,
Yes,
I've been working.
yes.
I've been working on heads with this great company called Wolf King Customs.
Don't
I
bring
would
Wolf
like-
King into this.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, but
I would
I'm not
like-
representing Wolf King right now. I'll let you know when I am later in the episode.
Okay. So the reason why I think he didn't wipe, because I listened to this, the reason why I think he didn't wipe the floor with Pete like you wanted to was you guys made the mistake of explaining to him that you were not Pete. Because from his response, when he kind of, it's almost like he took a deep breath and had that thought, wait a minute, now it makes sense. There's a third guy that's the asshole.
That was
Because it sounded like he was going to come in firing. And then you cleaned it up.
It was very important to Steve for him to distance himself from me.
Well, he
Right.
wants to get.
He went into
I mean,
he went into
wants that
full on
job.
Steve went into full on coward mode and was like, I can't be a part of this. So he was like, I've got to figure out how to let Bobby know that Steve is not Pete.
I don't think that's the. Can I try this?
Go ahead.
I don't think that's the case. I think Steve hates when he sometimes get lumped in with you or me. I think sometimes Steve's like, I'm not the sexual deviant. Okay, I'm not down for that stuff.
How many women's bras have you torn off, Travis?
He
Just
he
a
may
question.
or may not have admitted just a little few minutes ago.
He thought at one point he may
He
have
may
been
have
a
made a mistake.
necrophiliac.
An accident. Wasn't intentional.
Yeah, because the judges never heard that. It was an accident.
What do they call that? A crime of passion?
Yeah,
Steve, but to Steve's point, Travis, he is right. Because every time anybody's ever made a comment about me on the show, it's never been about being hilarious or quick-witted or sharp-tongued. It's always just
Don't
been
touch
loud.
the table.
All
I'm
they've ever
serious.
said
Even
about
Pete's
it.
fingers.
Now who's interrupting who?
Yeah, because I'm trying to give people good audio quality.
I will say, Pete, that your rambling on the dune buggy Jeep story a few episodes ago
It was just loud.
was well. I'm giving you credit. The quick wit.
But I don't want the credit 'cause I don't deserve the credit. It's just
Yeah.
loud.
No, Pete has his moments. He's had a couple in 200 and some
I
episodes.
want to see how long it would take you to ramble off 27 different kinds of off-road vehicles like he did. It was amazing, and I'm going to give credit where it's due.
I give him credit for
He's
that.
not
That
just
was kinda
loud.
cool.
He is not just fat.
Yep.
He does not only sound like Darth Vader when he sucks on that cock. He is also funny and
It's
quick-witted.
not even shaped like a cock anymore. It used to be. Remember that big robo penis I used to have?
Two things happened.
That's
I'm
exactly
sorry,
what.
Heidi. I'm so
That's
sorry.
exactly what Travis's is shaped like.
Two things happened
It
during the
looks
Bobby
pretty accurate.
interview that made it go the way it was. First was my attempt to not
Don't lean on the table.
dissociate myself from Pete, but to direct the fury at Pete and know that I was on his side. I was on Bobby's side.
Okay. Okay.
Two, the next thing that diffused the situation that I was very unsatisfied with is, if you know, I'm the host. And I set this up to go a certain way. I said, don't take a fireball and set it on the table. Makes a noise. We really should change that chord. I set it up. I said,
We can pause, okay.
Pete, you've had yours. It's time for Vala to have his opinion. And what did Pete do? He jumped in and started backpedaling immediately, and I tried to cut him off. Pete knew it, and he just outlouded me. And I'll suck your dick if I have to, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm passionately wrong, and blah, 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 but I'm a good guy. Blah, 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 blah.
This is
I know,
seriously-
I think you took it wrong. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah.
This is the best Pete impression I've ever heard, to be honest with you.
It is the best.
It's pretty good.
And then I was like, well, he just fucking just went in there and wrecked. And now he fucking pushed out. He went up there to the bully, shook his hand, rolled over.
Get him, Vala!
So Matt, I want you to listen to that for a second.
Actually, Vala's not the bully. Pete's the bully.
The impersonation was great. So Steve, as the host, set this up.
Yeah, and then you
So
ignored it.
I talked shit and pissed off Bobby Vala. Travis reaches out to Bobby Vala to get him come onto the show, and somehow Steve set that up.
I set up the
You
show. I
set
set up.
shit up.
I was basically.
Oh, he started
Basically-
the Skype call. You're right. He did start the Skype
Basically,
call.
I was
But then
moderating.
he was like, "Hey, Travis, do you have Bobby Vala's number? Because
it was like moderating the debate, and you were both Biden and Trump.
Who was I?
Kamala Harris.
Somebody sitting in the crowd doing nothing, saying, I don't know which one of these guys to pick. They're both great. That was you.
Your impressions this episode are on point. They're fucking on point. Are you kidding me?
I just don't know which one's better than the other. I don't know, just Biden or Trump. I don't know what to do here. I mean, please.
Oh,
How do
so-
we get these choices? Wow, golly, lucky us.
So all I have to say is that I didn't understand the controversy because this is
I think this is caffeinated.
Oh shit!
Do not set your caffeinated coffee on the table, Steven.
Do we have a cord
Yes,
somewhere?
let's pause it
We're-
and fix this. We got this.
Hey, YouTube, we're gonna read some comments for you while we fix this cord.
holy shit. I'm just sitting here in the middle. I'm fine, guys.
Traitor,
I like you both.
Tarder. You're a toy trader, Bond, not a traitor like against the government.
You don't know that.
Well, I was clarifying.
Is it? It's that mic. There's no other mic.
Oh, it could be it could be just the mic. So
We have a mic. We should have 3.
We should have plenty of mics.
there's mics.
Oh.
We should know from now on.
It
the
does.
one-
It needs to
Not that one.
Well, that's USB.
And I'm about to sit on the floor because this just.
My-
right-
my ass is hanging through too.
Why
as
the
well.
fuck can't you guys not break all my chairs, man?
Not just a fat guy.
I think that goes for, or it needs to go back. Yeah, so you need to stand up and this piece needs to go back.
What's in that case, Trav, under my book? Is there a mic in
I
there?
think that one might be empty.
Oh, great. Probably is. We're so dumb.
It is empty.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, we got one. It's somewhere here. We just gotta find it. Son of a bitch. It's just not here. Maybe in that case.
That back slide.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on a beautiful Sunday. It's 7 degrees
Really?
here at the studio. Not in the studio, but around the studio. It's freezing cold. It sucks.
I actually love it.
I don't mind it.
I
I
like.
couldn't get in my driveway yesterday, but
Yeah, that's tough. I've been snow blowing a lot
Sneak by you, dude.
and
Snow blowing?
snow blowing.
Snow blowing.
I've been just plowing.
I'd see you like the kind of guy that has a John Deere rider,
I wish
like with a cup holder for your decaf coffee.
that'd be fun. Maybe someday when I hit it big.
The guy, do you have one of those shrouds on your snowblower like the heated tent. I saw a guy with one of those yesterday, and I was like, I bet that thing costs more than my car.
But every time I see a guy using that, I think he's a pussy.
Right.
I'm like, Jesus.
The only guys that use that should be the ones that do the sidewalks that they're literally sitting in it for 3 hours throughout the entire town. I don't know if you guys do that.
We don't have that here.
I
anymore.
used to do that
It's a big controversy all over Facebook.
for 8
too.
hours.
Nice.
So that the city doesn't.
You
do
know
the sidewalks
what
anymore.
isn't a big controversy on Facebook?
I hate
Oh, it's
Facebook.
awesome.
Did we find it, Mike? They haven't found it yet?
a good idea.
Did you find it?
It is. It's literally just as old.
But it might not be it might not be messed up.
Might as well use one of these nice new cords. See what happens.
Oh, we're gonna have this back in business here.
Oh yeah. Hang with us, YouTube.
Quick behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Somebody thinks Steve is funny. Oh, never mind. It's Jeremy DeWitt. It doesn't count.
If you're 3 boyfriends ago, what's Jeremy? 4 boyfriends ago?
No,
No, Jeremy's the husband.
Jeremy's the husband.
Oh, okay.
He's literally the one that Steven left me for. Which is fine. I'm not sour about it.
And you understand it.
And I understand it.
Ooh.
I understand that Jeremy can fill his needs more than I can.
Look at
Good.
that.
Test,
So-
Steven, test.
Yeah,
Sounds
you're
good.
Perfect.
All right, we're back, and hopefully we have that problem under control. Sorry about the trauma to your ears if you're an earbud wearer. So I'm sure that was probably pretty rough.
I didn't notice anything.
So back to my
The
point.
consummate professional.
So all I'm saying is I didn't understand the controversy. What it sounded like to me was Bobby was talking crap a little bit more harsher than people would assume that a company owner, business professional would. Pete kind of said, hey, if you want to keep growing, you probably shouldn't talk that much crap. Then Bobby came on this show and I listened, and Bobby is an ex-employee where I feel like that might stem from some of the reason why he was talking the crap. And good criticism. Very professional. I did not back Valiverse. I back this after listening to this latest episode with him talking to you guys. I completely back this guy's game, his company, his ventures. I really, really liked listening to him
Wait, you
talk.
went on and bought stuff from him?
No.
Oh, so you're just verbally saying, "Oh yeah, I backed you." I want to get this clear here. You didn't really back him. You're just saying you backed him.
He's saying he.
Okay,
has
so
his back.
now when as far as your
not like when you didn't have my back the other day when you were like, "Get the fuck away from me! I don't want to be associated with him."
I'm not with him.
Not with him. I don't know.
I'm not with him.
No.
I'm
The through
saying
Steve's eye guys wanted to fucking separate himself from me. Holy shit!
I'm saying that I back him as far as support his ventures.
Oh.
I have not backed his Kickstarter or
That's like
financially
a kid
backed
coming.
him.
That's like a guy coming to you and saying, "Hey man, I'm dying of cancer and I need some financial backing." And you're like, "Dude, I back you." And you're like, "Okay, how much?" And you're
Prayers,
like, no,
thoughts and prayers.
No, I don't back you. Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and
Thoughts and
prayers. Good
prayers.
vibes.
I will tell you that I agree with Matthew, but I'm going to go one step further because I'm going to buy an Action Force figure from Big Bad Toy Store from Dorkside. Then I'm going to snap a photo and I'm going to send it to Bobby so he doesn't have to go back and look to see that somebody that shit talked him then became a supporter. I want him to blatantly know that I did. So
Yeah.
that's my plan.
I like him.
But
I
I'm
just
poverty
listened
Pete,
to
so
it.
really? Come on. On his next Kickstarter, he might get the $1 I care about you. You know what I mean? Because I'm poverty Pete.
And then the credit card will.
What's so funny about that is I looked the other day, I've backed about 18 Kickstarters since you. And almost every single one of them D&D related, which is why nobody knows that I back them because I try to talk about something I love and everybody hates it. So, but it was so funny because I get nervous every time I back because I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't Matthew these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
Thoughts and prayers, Bobby.
Yep. So we're gonna wrap that up, and I don't know.
I just want you want to. What was the best moment
Oh yeah, the best moment literally was when you realized
That your dreams weren't going to come true.
yes.
How did you know that? I didn't say anything.
You
You had
had
a
this
pouty
look.
face.
Yeah, you had this look on your face like I really sat through this. I really got all hyped for this big throwdown, this big beatdown, and you just had this look on your face like you were so disappointed.
You had worked so hard to set that up. You had so many hours into getting Vala and I on the same Skype, and then you just were let down. It was devastating.
I think the thing that really twisted the knife though was when Bobby started spitting WWF and WWE game. I could hear I could hear Steven's little wee kind of just start to shake and start to get a little bit chubby because the way he was talking about Goldberg and these wrestlers and Austin and all these guys and the terms he was using, I could tell that Pete didn't know what the fuck was going on or what was being said.
And that's what I finally said. I'm like, I think this is funny. I bet it's funny, but I don't know.
But you could tell that Steve was just like, damn it, this guy's cool. I want him to punch Pete in the face.
Through Skype.
Through Skype.
Through Skype. It was probably the most I've ever seen Steve.
But I do,
look
and
let
thank
down.
you. Honestly, thank you, Steve, for getting that all put together. I greatly
welcome.
appreciate all the work you put in.
Welcome.
So
It's what I do.
Lord Steven.
It's what I do. All right, where are we going to next, boys?
You know what? Let's really throw this for a curveball here.
let's talk about necrophilia.
Let's talk WandaVision.
Oh,
Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
YouTube spoilers.
in the middle of the episode where it's best where people can really screw them up instead of doing it at the end when they could just stop listening if they haven't seen it.
If you're at
Steve, you
28
worked really hard to plan this episode. So
minute 28, we are about to talk about WandaVision.
Yeah, because the person that just heard that was like, "Oh, thanks, I knew that before."
Turn off your
hey,
podcast.
Matt, you know what?
What?
Steve can say whatever he wants. Everybody listening to this knows who the real asshole is. Steve can throw shade all he wants. Everybody's like, man, Steve's an asshole.
Right.
So
Right.
I think I'm the hero.
that's exactly what most assholes say.
I like how Steve wants to also now have journalistic integrity. And we should put it at the end because that's the smart
That's kind of
thing to
what we
do.
used to do.
I totally understand that, and that's why I said let's throw a curve.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Trevor wants
All right.
to serve the curve.
I want to, throw that. And
We're
I
going
really
to
wanna
talk
about it.
WandaVision.
And here's why I want to talk about it. I literally woke up this morning and had to watch it because
Yeah.
I'm like, and I cried. Like,
What the fuck?
I cried.
I cried too
Serious?
one time.
Very,
Here's
very
what I'll
emotional.
tell you where I cried.
Very emotional.
So we're gonna start at the beginning because we're 5
What
episodes
was so
in.
emotional
Okay,
about it?
30 minutes and 4 seconds, everybody. Spoiler alert.
What the fuck was so emotional? I
I
mean,
will-
I
I will
get
explain.
Luke Skywalker coming in was fucking emotional.
but-
This doesn't.
But because we're different,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I'll explain that.
But Trav, the real
Well,
emotional
that's about
part
the understatement
was
of
what
the
they
year.
did in The Last Jedi. They just didn't give Luke his due.
So, episode 1, episode 2.
Forgot him.
The black and white episodes, the slow burn. You are seeing something that's there, but you can't put your finger on it.
Right.
Okay. And now, of course, we can all look back and go, yeah, duh. But you're watching this, and I want to talk about even more the people online bitching about it. And I'm like, holy cow! It's like people don't remember how a story is crafted.
Right.
Like, and I understand because they're going right from the last Avengers movie,
Endgame.
Endgame. I get it. Okay, so a lot of these casual fans who are watching, they're going, "What is happening? We just had a huge battle with this alien god and all this, and now we're going to the 50s TV." I understand, but don't you guys feel now being on episode 5 that shit was good? Like it, and I actually enjoyed it as a story wise anyway. But didn't it do it? It set it up so now where we're at, you're like, that was the best way to do it. You guys feel that way?
I do.
I don't know. I enjoyed what they did, and I really enjoyed from a different point. I know Travis probably cannot relate to this, and probably Pete either, but when I was little, my mom always had reruns of I Love Lucy on and all these things. So for me to see their takes on that and the acting that they did for it, that was fun in itself for me. But as far as the story, I think I did think they took a long time to get. Maybe too much more than they maybe more than they needed to get where they're at. I don't regret it, and I don't, I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I'm just saying if it would have been one episode shorter to get where we're at, I think we could have done that.
And yeah, I guess looking at it through the different lenses of viewership, but then you look at it through production and the people that are making it and directing it, is that this is a TV show. I mean, if you're going to, and I have to fully admit I was wrong, but if you're going to bitch about episode 1 and 2, then you should also bitch about random episodes in The Mandalorian also that served very little to no purpose. But that's what a TV show is. And yes, I can put storyline wise and what they needed to represent to us as a viewer, both episodes 1 and 2 probably could have been done in one episode.
Well, okay. So
as far as it could have been 15 minutes in the 50s, 15 minutes in the 60s, or whatever it is in the 70s. But they stretched it out from a production and from a visual standpoint and storyline standpoint because that afforded them one more episode.
But I also think that was intentional because they dropped both those episodes at the same time.
Right.
I think it would have hurt you even more to have one of those than another week of one of those. So I think that they had that fear a little bit.
Sure.
And how they corrected that was going,
I could see
bam,
that.
here's 2 right out of the gate.
I could see that.
Which I thought was smart.
I do want to say I don't think comparing it to Mandalorian is the same because Star Wars is, what do you expect to see in Star Wars? Spaceships, lasers, fights, maybe a lightsaber here and there.
Yep.
And so those filler episodes, they still give you that stuff. What do you expect when you go see a Marvel movie? Superheroes, fighting, stuff
You
like
understand
that.
this is a Marvel TV show, right? Not a Marvel movie?
You understand that Mandalorian is a show, right? Not a Star Wars movie?
Exactly my point.
I'm saying that those filler episodes still give you what you expect to see when you go see a Star Wars movie. The WandaVision really doesn't give you what you expect to see in a Marvel
movie.
That's the only difference I can say.
I can agree with that, but I will also say that from a storyline standpoint, that we are learning. It's almost like we're relearning how to be entertained. So when it comes to somebody that reads a book, when it comes to somebody that watches a movie, and there's different elements in TV shows, I'll use Cloud Atlas for example. It's a random movie. Tom Hanks movie came out like 10 years ago. I remember seeing that in the theater, and I'm halfway through it, and I literally said in my head, this feels like I'm watching a book. Like, that's what it felt like to me. It was
That's one that, like, it constantly goes back and forth.
Same
right?
actors, different elements or time frames and stuff like that. But that's what that felt like. So these 2 episodes, now when we're looking at it in hindsight, now I want to go back and see if there's any of these little hints that I might have missed. But I have to admit, it was almost like retraining my entertainment perception to this new storyline in this new TV show, where it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't giving me the quote unquote Marvel expected stuff. I needed to kind of, it was a different dinner, it was a different taste in my mouth. And at first I was like, but then episode 3, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of feeling that kick at the end of this last bite, and then episode 4 and 5 came around, and now 5, and it's like now it's found its footing, and I mean it's going at the right pace for me.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room though? They recast Sylvester Stallone with a black chick as Rambo.
I don't think they spell it the same way though. It's not spelled Rambo with an O at the end.
The same.
No, well, because if they would have spelled it the same way, then the SJWs and the ABFs would have been upset about it.
Like, we can't even have Rambo anymore.
Too much killing.
It took me 5 episodes, or I shouldn't say 5. It took me until the 5th episode to realize why I knew that name.
Yeah,
And it
because
all of a sudden
First
hit
Blood.
me, and I went. I hate it
Last
when he
Blood?
interrupts me. He always interrupts me.
At least when I do it, it's funny.
As he yells, "First blood."
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
what Stephen Bisciotti is
You realize
synonymous
he's
with.
so
It's
young, he's
funny.
never saw it, right?
He can eat things that make a Billy go puke.
That's how old your fan base is, though. That's how old your fan base is. Somebody put, I think, Ben, and he's not even that old. But the humor, they put the Sly and Schwarzenegger were in the, and which composer would
I
you
had
be?
to read the comments.
I had to read it. And I'm like, what are you guys joking about? Like, that joke is literally what a 75-year-old man tells his grandson, and his grandson's like, "Who are you talking about? I'll be back."
Have you seen Arnold recently too?
Yeah. I watched them all weekend.
Does anybody else hate YouTube because you keep catching yourself picking your nose? WandaVision is the best Marvel property to date.
So, well, okay, listen. I will say, to me, the writers of this show are masterful because they are writing a story about a person changing the fabric of reality, and they did it in this way that was interesting, weird, and also another fun little way to tell stories and hit nostalgia of. I mean, episode 5 was like Family Ties, which we're old, so I mean, like for us, I mean, that's a show that, and I'm just sitting there watching it going, man, it's ticking those off for me. But the biggest thing that I'm seeing as a comic book reader is this Marvel. Don't get me wrong, tons of fan service in the movies and all the the originals, tons, okay? But also this spin of we're gonna get Steve's wife, we're gonna get your wife, we're gonna get Amanda,
Which they didn't, by the way, because my wife can't understand it.
No, I'm talking about the movies.
Yeah, okay, the movies did.
You know,
Thor got her.
they were
my
like,
wife.
we're gonna get the casual viewer.
Yeah.
That's who we're
Yeah.
gonna get. Well, now they're like, we've got them.
Right.
They're coming. If it says Marvel on it, they're coming to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Then this show just fucking takes comic book shit and just crams it down
Right.
people's throat. And not like in the movies where, it sounds so weird because you're like, dude, it's fucking Iron Man, Thor, but it's taking these stories that have been 20 plus years.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're so like, and this Bill and I, these are the comics we grew up reading,
Right.
and they're just cramming it right down people's throats and going, "Hey, guess what? It's different now. Now we're gonna really tell you the Marvel stories."
And that's what's so beautiful about the fan base that they have built. So if you look at it from that standpoint, this show 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it doesn't work. Captain Marvel didn't work if it came in the 80s, if it came before all these
It
other
didn't
movies.
work whenever it came, to be honest.
What is it called? Black Widow's coming at a specific point in time because of what it is, and they've built the fan base, and this is when these things come. And so, for an example, Iron Man 2, they dabbled a little bit with alcoholism and like his issue, like dabbled, like barely. But you could tell that as a fan base and as a company, they weren't ready to go balls deep with that type of storyline. Now, 10 years plus into it, they would, because they know how big the client base is, they know what the fans want, and they know that they have the beautiful stories to tell. And so what it comes down to, you said about like the movies getting my wife. My wife is the biggest WandaVision fan in our family. When we sit down and we watch it as a family, she absolutely loves it. And I don't even know why. Like, I like it a lot, but she loves it. She's watched each episode multiple times. She will randomly look at YouTube theory, and she never used to do this. Randomly look at YouTube theories about stuff that she's kind of interested in. Yesterday, I was gone for the day skiing with my daughter, and I got home, and I said, well, what'd you do? She goes, oh, I watched Doctor Strange. And I said, babe, that's your least favorite. It's her least favorite Marvel. We saw that in the theater, and she's like, I never have to see that ever again. And she's like, well, I wanted to see if I actually liked it more the second time. And now she's like connecting it to, because we've talked about, what's going to be coming in the future and Wanda's powers and multiverse madness stuff and all this other stuff. She sat like a mid-30s wife and mother of 3 sat down and watched Doctor Strange on a Saturday by herself. You're telling me Disney doesn't know how to print money?
No, you're telling us Rachel's a loser. So I just feel bad for her.
Okay.
No, honestly though, Doctor Strange, one of the I have as anybody give it a second viewing?
No,
I tried.
I did. I really liked it, but not
did
enough
too.
to watch it again.
I enjoyed it, but
It,
then,
it didn't have the rewatchability,
Right. I agree
but,
with you.
But I do think
But I did like.
Now it
You're
will
right.
become.
people are gonna have to
do
go
like
back.
Doctor Strange though, in like the Infinity War movies and everything else.
One of the best.
But
No.
but if I go back now, I would be willing to bet I would enjoy it more because of those exact things and knowing to the future. And I can also see that point of the non-comic book person getting more into that on a second viewing because
Right.
of this stuff. As everything gets deeper, enjoying those things more because they catch little nuances that they wouldn't have caught before and
Right. And
that
stuff
type of
that
thing.
you assumed was a throwaway line wasn't.
Right.
And so, for instance, I think the best thing that they did in episode 5, just to break it down for the most simple-minded people, was when she shot her bell-bottom pants. And when she explained to them that that's Kevlar. She rewove the fabric of this reality. And just the simplicity of her breaking that down to not only Wu and Darcy, but the viewers, it made it so much easier to just understand, okay, the drone went in and then it turned into a 50s helicopter, and the dude went in and then he became a beekeeper. Like, that all makes sense. And it explains her powers a lot more because obviously, I mean, we all watched Age of Ultron. Everyone's like, are they ever going to explain her powers? And I'm like, nah, like, it's just kind of cool. It's this like red kind of mystic stuff. It's cool. And you didn't have to, but now they're diving deeper into that, which is beautifully done.
Derek Ayers, who said WandaVision is the best because it is creative enough to not only lean on fan service, it is creating new fans. And I believe that as well. I
And
think
that's
there's
after
people-
he rambled on about marbles.
No, I love you.
So-
Yo, anybody in here marble? But so I've been super excited about it because of my history with reading this stuff. Like, I've had thoughts about where things are going and everything, but I didn't want to ruin it for people. But one thing that I got to ask you guys, a piece of her story has to do with Mephisto. And I hope to God I said that right. If I didn't, people are probably going to let me know. But he literally is Marvel Comics Satan. He's the devil. Okay? And obviously they tell that story different. He's like a demon, but it's what he is. Do you think they go there?
I'll see why not. Why wouldn't they?
Because it's Disney.
What's that got to do with it?
I'm not going to
Well,
explain it to you if you don't already
It's,
know.
it's
be,
under
sit there
the
and be
Disney
dumb.
umbrella, but it's Marvel.
You know what I mean?
It's not the
So-
devil. They're not calling him Satan. They're calling him Mephisto.
Right.
It's a made up. It's still
Character.
a made up character.
Yeah.
It's not.
On a personal level, I could see them going there when they tie it together with the multiverse of madness. I don't even really personally feel like they need to go too far into, like, I don't think he needs to be the main villain of this season, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he can be there in general, and they allude to him, but I think to properly tell his story and his side of things, I think that it should be connected to either a movie or a second season or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? They're just doing so much. I'm like, everyone's like, oh, is there going to be a villain, or who's the villain? Is it this lady? Is it that lady? Is it this guy? Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, that type of stuff. I'm like, I don't, on a personal level, I'm just watching. I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, if,
Isn't the guy that's in charge of Sword the villain?
He's the dick, that's for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's. And just to clarify, Sword is the new Shield or what replaced Shield?
No, it's a different agency.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So like they're the ones that handle. They would usually handle like I would say off world, You know how
Oh,
she's
okay.
talking about how she wants to be up there, she
Yeah.
wants to be,
Right.
and he's like, no, you're staying terrestrial.
Right.
They are the space.
Sword is like the galactic arm of Shield.
Yes, which Kyle struggled with this.
Yeah,
and me
yeah,
and-
yeah.
And Matt talked
Yeah,
about
not only
But
not-
Kyle's
not-
old.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get
not,
it.
not just ARM, but it's just like a different company. So you have that company, and then you have Shield. And from what I'm gathering, because I didn't follow Captain Marvel that much, because Steve told me it's a horrible movie, so I didn't really pay attention. Is that,
I love the montage of all the men that have been bad to her.
yeah, the
favorite
mom
part.
of this is her name Maria.
That's how she got her powers.
The mom.
I think it's Maria and then Monica.
Yeah.
Monica's
Maria, Captain Marvel's best friend. It sounds like she started this organization. Obviously, she had aliens living in her home in that movie, so in the 80s. So it's a
Yeah.
newer organization. And then, it grows, and then she dies, not in the blip, but while the blip took place, she's in the hospital.
Well,
and
that was a great piece of
oh,
this whole
jeez,
thing.
that
Giving us that
scene.
snippet of the blip, not only how people unblipped or reblipped or blipped back.
Yeah, I was like,
That was very.
I
cool.
didn't like it because I'm like, at first I thought maybe Rambo, maybe Stallone was her dad, but then they showed that not even him.
When you guys chuckle like
The
that,
original
when it's not
Rambo-
funny, it just encourages him.
The original Rambo was also a woman. Can't we have anything?
So, God damn you, Steve. So,
No, but it gave because we've gotten the chuckle blip. Well, what happens when they come back? Because Endgame gave us the tear blip where it's like on your left,
yeah,
and then we got the chuckle in
Spider-Man.
Far From Home, which was all the bands on the court and they're hitting each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this gave us the not only the realistic side of the blip, but the fact that it was in a hospital. So then it's twice as nuts, which was a really cool angle to show, hey, we're not going to shy away from the real, because I know after Endgame happened and after even Spider-Man, people are like, well, what happens when I'm this fanboy online, and what happens if there was a plane in the air? Like, where are all those people? Like, why don't they want to touch on that? Like, you get all of this like kind of like talk where no, Marvel knows that. Like, we have these discussions, they have 10 times as many discussions when it comes to these storylines. So I'm sure that they've thought about this as well. Just because they haven't shown us it doesn't mean it doesn't
The
exist.
hospital was a missed opportunity to show that person that was 1 minute away from dying anyways when he disappeared, and then goes back just to go.
That's
Just to
that
die.
is not funny. People die every day. People lose loved ones. How could you laugh at that? You people are despicable.
That would have been so great. I would have been.
I just think
he's like I made it 5 years.
Yeah,
Dead.
I'm back. Oh shit! Boom.
Wouldn't it have been so funny if that surgeon is getting ready to make the cut and then he blips away and then he blips back and he inadvertently cuts open a healthy child? Wouldn't that be so? He just cuts him right open and his guts fall out. His guts are on the floor and he was just there for a tonsillectomy and his guts are
The
on
stupid
the
thing
floor.
is Pete's just jealous he didn't make that joke because that's right up his alley. That is.
I was playing along with you. I'm being funny with you, aren't I? If it's funny when it's funny when I do it too, right? Isn't that how this works? Oh, okay. I guess I'll just go back to being loud.
too far, Pete. Too far.
Oh,
I don't want to think about
necrophilia
babies.
is cool, but don't talk about kids' guts on the floor. That's just crazy talk.
No.
Okay, I really want to address the elephant in the room. Bill, have you watched this?
No.
Are you serious?
Hey, Bill, 50 minutes and 40 seconds in, spoiler alert. So,
You know what? I'm not one of those guys that I don't
Bill don't
worry.
care.
I don't care. I will.
well,
it
you're
will
going to be
not-
super pissed when Vision dies, but whatever.
Oh man, what?
Again,
Also, how amazing was that scene when she looks and it's dead Vision.
Yeah.
It's his.
that was powerful.
That was huge, man. I
To,
was like,
to watch this perfect couple fight, huge.
oh,
You know,
Yeah.
that was.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Obviously, Vision is not alive at this point, or part of him isn't, or we don't know.
But see, that's what
but the
they
fact that
alluded
he's
to.
the fact that he's not going against her, but he's questioning and he's saying, "Hey, you've never yelled at me like that," or she, and like those type of arguments, like it really opened up the view of what's going on.
Yeah.
Is that obviously it shows she's in control. It's also showing that she's not in control.
Yeah. Like she's delving in a little bit into madness.
You were right, which is, and then he's noticing that, and so are we going into like episode five all the way, or
Oh yeah.
Right.
yeah, because
We're
you
not
guys,
ready.
Well, the
Oh,
two,
okay.
the two big things that caught me off guard was they led you to believe that she has just created Vision as part of this reality.
right,
But then they dip in and they go, well, wait a minute. Did she actually fix him? Because you find out that she stole his body. The other piece was I never thought, and I should have when the main female neighbor character and are talking at the fence. I didn't get what they were trying to say there, and then all of a sudden it became apparent that this was actually a town that is actually now under her control. I thought they were all just figments of her reality she
Imagination, yeah,
created.
yeah.
I didn't realize these were actual people. And that was another kind of wow, I didn't see that. That was a twist for me. Right. But then I look back at that conversation of her at the fence with the guy in the hedge clippers, and I'm like, I should have caught the fact that something wasn't right to them.
Right.
You know?
Well, and the fact that it kind of shows that when you're not in the scene of the show that she's making, you're still stuck there.
But you don't fully understand what's going on.
You still don't fully understand what's going on. So that's why even they show the what's his name, the mailman, and the mailman looks like he's just had enough of this shit. Where he's like, he walks past him, he's like, yeah, your mom will take care of this shit. She already knows what's going on, and he keeps
your mail.
he keeps walking. He's like, you can tell he's had it enough of this frickin' town.
So the real question I have, and this probably for you, Travis, being the comic book guy, do azaleas really kill dogs? Is that a thing?
I think that's how the dog dies in the comic, though, is from what I've read after watching that episode.
Right, but
That
in
he
real
actually has a
life,
dog.
if a dog eats azaleas, does azaleas kill canines?
I'm sure if it eats too much of it, I would assume.
Can I ask you guys a serious question?
How is that not a serious question? A dog died, Travis.
Did it really?
He got all emotional about you cutting open a little kid, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're mentioning
Yeah.
dog size, and
And he's like, I wish they would have kicked the dog down the road, the dead body. I wish they would have played kick the puppy. Would have been so much fun.
You never saw the puppy dead. She was holding something.
Correct.
It was probably Vision's head. She stole it from Wanda.
So, did you guys notice when Dickhead there was saying how she broke into a government facility and stole Vision's body?
Yep.
When she blew open that room, did you see what Vision's body looked like?
Yes.
What?
It was in. I just remember seeing pieces on different.
Yeah, it was different different
like
tables.
they were studying it or
They were
something.
dissecting Vision.
Yeah.
So you imagine she finds out they have Vision's body. She fucking goes there and walks into a room and he's tore to pieces because they're
Right.
dissecting him.
Right.
You know, so
It's
Wanda,
like tearing a car apart, though. I mean, he's a robot.
he's more than a robot, Steven. So you imagine that she
Well, to
loses
them,
her
he's a robot.
parents. She's
Lost her brother.
well and tested on by Hydra.
Yep.
You know, loses her brother, falls in love, loses Vision.
Well, but in the middle of that too, feels guilty for every. She's carrying a ton of guilt because it was her blast. That did. That killed all those people.
She's done a
and-
lot. She's screwed up a lot of stuff.
And so she's got all this PTSD. She's got all this shit going. And then the government that you are helping
Right.
does this to the man you loved.
Right.
And, I think we're going to see more. But, I mean, of course she's fucking breaking. Of course.
Right.
You know, and so...
She was weak to begin with, mentally.
Oh,
I mean, Hawkeye had to tell her,
Trick
you either
her.
hide in here like a little girl, or you go out there and be an Avenger. I'm gonna go out there with my arrows. And he made that funny joke about that and everything. And she was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'll be a badass for a while." But then she screws stuff up, and she's a wreck.
Okay, so can I
I love her, Rack.
can I throw a theory
She's
that
smoking
might
hot in every decade, by the way. It does not matter what she's wearing.
She is unbelievably beautiful, and I feel like she is becoming a really good actress.
Well, the thing is too, I noticed it mostly in this episode where last episode this
Her
is
butt was a little chunky.
yeah.
Is that what you noticed?
No.
Oh.
She
I thought we were I thought we were on the same page.
Hang out with him anymore.
she
Enough's enough, Trav.
this is going to be super nitpicky, but it almost sounded like in these later episodes she was trying to pull the 50s voice, but then it started to wear off, and so now she's doing the Family Ties and like doing that, and she's doing like kind of a regular voice, and it's really good. And her freaking flannel and her overall and all of their suspenders, and then all of a sudden she breaks the wall, comes out and talks to the agents,
And
and
her
she
accent's back.
starts dripping into that old accent, and I'm like, hell yeah, because these past 5 episodes people are like, well, where'd her accent go? And like she starts doing the accent, and I'm like, okay, and then she gets back in. I'm like, son of a bitch. So my daughter texted me that she's read a theory and she wanted to know what I thought about it, and she said that her and her friends think that she was so broken after Vision died and after Endgame that she stole the Mind Stone, and that when Cap went and returned all the stones, that's why we have the multiverse now, because all of the stones were not actually put back where they're supposed to be, and that's why now she has the Mind Stone and has Vision's body per her breaking into there,
Wrong.
grabbing the body. And I'm like, the fact that again my 17-year-old daughter and her friends are like on different YouTube pages and Reddit, they're
Had
like,
a much more coherent thought than Steven, which is why he just said wrong, because he just can't wrap his mind around that.
No,
That-
I think
There's no way a woman thought of that. There's no way.
no, it has nothing to do.
Unless
hey,
it was Kathleen Kennedy. Unless it was Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, she
no.
could come up with something
No.
great.
just a kind of a
They-
cool,
they-
interesting theory.
Okay, this is my theory though, and it's better than that one. They pointed out in the episode that Wanda's powers came from the Mind Stone, and I think that was intentional for some reason. That she's able to
Like
bring
the Mind
Vision
Stone-
back with
like-
the Mind Stone because she comes from the Mind Stone. I think that's going to be it could be a thing that's going to come in.
And the
later.
fact that
And then
she
he does that, and I go, God, I love that bastard.
I
I try. I want to.
I'm
I
back
want to
with
hate
him.
him
just
so
proved. Wait a
bad.
minute. But he just proved that theory that this is why she's that powerful, is that they still have the Mind Stone
Right, but he
here.
did it in
No.
Steve's way.
no, I
And
don't, the
Steve's
Mind
way
Stone
is
could be crushed,
convoluted
but
and ridiculous.
But
and-
she's part of it.
But she's
She
part
has-
of the Mind
yeah.
Stone.
Yeah, but
so-
Yeah.
the Mind Stone never got crushed. It got pulled out of his face.
and
The
then
Mind
put
Stone
back.
still existed.
Yeah, you're right.
But the fact is that if they still have the Mind Stone there, and that's what makes him alive, is that's I guess the gateway to the multiverse and all this other weird shit. Spoiler, Quicksilver, is that all of the stones
56,
were not
38.
all of the stones
59, because I'm upside down. Sorry.
all of the stones were not put back properly, because again, we consider that a throwaway scene just to talk about cute old Captain giving his shield away. But guess what? That cute throwaway scene, we never saw all of those stones in that fucking briefcase. We just saw him standing there with a briefcase.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely a fun theory. I think it might end up being more down Steve's
Cap would've
alley,
came
but
back.
regardless,
Cap would open that briefcase wherever he got. He'd have been like, "Oh shit, where's the Mind Stone? I'm Cap. I can't have my romance until I
Hey,
fix this
I'm
shit."
sorry,
He'd come back.
Peggy.
That's just my
you're
opinion.
absolutely gorgeous, and I want to spend the next 60 years just plowing you. But I got to do
I
this
wouldn't
real
want to
quick.
plow her.
Are you serious?
That's it. I'm done.
Cap's girl.
Guys, it's been fun. We're wrapping up episode 204.
Okay, the actress. Yeah, the
The
character.
character?
No.
Really?
Well, no, she's too freaking independent. She's gonna be all like, "Oh, jeez,
she might want to be on
and
top.
I was that, and blah blah blah, and you can make the eggs today because I can pick up a 300-pound man and throw him through a window too."
he's obviously
On top,
not
I
I
don't
can't
want
see
a
my
girl
muscles.
like that. She'd be a pain in the butt.
Travis-
Pat would be like, "I'm gonna go out and mow the grass," and she's like, "Oh, make
The
sure
new
you got
What
the,
If series is not going to be.
She'd be like,
he's not going to be a fan of
He's
that.
not gonna like it.
make
No,
sure you
no.
don't put 2-cycle in that." And he'd be like, "Why do you know that stuff?" "Because I'm as good as a man. I proved it in my series that all the men treated me shitty,
So what do you
and
guys
I was
think?
still that good."
What do you think
I don't want
about
to deal with her.
her brother at the end?
Okay, so this is where I cried
Oh my god.
Are
Instantly
you
pissed.
serious?
I was instantly pissed.
because you loved Taylor. You loved the other one.
Yes.
Oh,
and I was instantly pissed. But then they actually called on it, that recast her, and I'm like, okay, that makes it a little bit better because it was intentional. It wasn't just,
He was a better Quicksilver.
Okay, right before that fight though, how
What?
did you like?
Yeah.
Why does he do this to me?
I'm
Travis?
going to agree with Steve on this one.
You're
He's
both
just
you're
more
both dead to me.
entertaining.
You're both dead.
I loved him in X-Men.
My favorite part of the whole
I
thing
hope
is
you
when he
both
calls
blip. I hope you both blip right the fuck out of here.
So
when he calls Vision a popsicle.
He was
Best.
given. I guess he was given more of a personality in X-Men, yes, but I think that was intentional because
That's not my Quicksilver.
Avengers they
not.
were again. I think they were characters that they were kind of treading lightly with, so they intentionally kept them sort of very surface.
Yeah.
Now the whole backstory to that wasn't that the deal that Fox and Marvel made? Because when they wanted to use Scarlet Witch, they said yes, you can do it, but we want Quicksilver, so you have to kill him.
no, there was something weird, and I don't actually even remember the backdoor deal on it. I don't even know what it was. It wouldn't surprise me if it was even just they're like, we Quicksilver, we don't have a.
Well,
I think some of these stories they really have had in the fucking gun. I think they've had them for a long time. I don't think a lot of this is them on the fly.
Right.
I think
No.
they have this roadmap, and they're
for sure.
they're hitting home
But
runs.
I do know that it had to do with they were allowed to use Pietro and Wanda. They weren't allowed to use Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver as far as name and
Well,
identity.
and they brought that up in this episode.
Right.
What's
Doesn't
her,
she have a
what's her
funny
name?
name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, no. Okay, so here's why this was so big to me, and this is what I built to. Okay, yeah, I'm laying there with tears, and Heidi looks at me and Steve, you can do that, but I'm gonna tell you, dude, it's the same thing as Luke Skywalker for me. They literally right now, what they just told you is, guess what? If we want Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Exactly.
he fucking can be.
Well,
This may
we've
give
known
us
that, but Hugh
Black
Jackman
Widow
keeps
back.
saying
This
he
may
won't.
give us. They're opening up doors that maybe they can fix all the hurt.
No, I'd say it's not even doors.
I just want the original Sabretooth.
Okay, I'm sorry. Windows, is that a better analogy? So
no.
Scuttles?
For me, it's-
Tyler Mane, you
This is
you want the original
this is,
Sabretooth?
He looked way cool, and he's big.
okay, I'm sorry. Stop, everybody. Steven, it's not funny anymore. All right, there's nothing endearing about that Sabretooth. Just stop. Okay,
Nothing.
Just stop.
He growled.
Unless
it
you're
was
gonna
awesome.
unless you're gonna give me a handful of your meds, I'm not gonna survive this show. If you keep saying dumb shit like that's the best Sabretooth.
Okay, look at the
Liev-
comic and look at the two
look at-
Sabretooths. Which
Lie-
one looks cooler?
Look at Liev Schreiber. He's pissed. Now he's going to have to come on and you're going to have to fix it with him. I will set it up. You pissed off Liev Schreiber. Travis contacted him. Therefore, I set it up. And you're going to have that talk with
I
him.
love Liev Schreiber, but no.
So this is what I think they did. Obviously, we know the X-Men movies are on
He
Disney.
doesn't ever forget what he's going to say. I can ramble and he'll hold it right there. And he is not going to skip a beat. He's going to come right back at it.
So they own the Fox movies, and like you're saying,
Who does?
Disney.
Disney. Okay.
So they're on Disney Plus. They're on. You can watch them. You can watch Wolverine Origins. You can watch that stuff on there. And so I wouldn't say that they're going to bring Hugh Jackman in to the MCU, but the fact that all of this stuff for the past 15, 20 years, who are they recasting as Batman? Who are they recasting as Superman? Who are they? They've tiptoed around recasting and, oh, we can't use that person in this TV show because that character's in this movie, this, and that. And they've always done this for the past 20 to 30 years, is that they tiptoe around this product, these characters. And this was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're not going to tiptoe around this. We're doing the multiverse. We own these properties now. It might not be might not be Wolverine in this world, but we're saying that X-Men world, it exists in the MCU extended multiverse, and that's the X-Men in that universe. But we're going to do that, and so then you bring it back to the show, and it's kind of a cool, again, just a theory, but that Wanda is so messed up, and somebody said, is it a nexum or a nexus, that when it comes to all realities, there are only a handful of mutants that they are the exact same in every different reality, and she is one of them. And so could you imagine if she raises a corpse for her husband and she's playing freaking puppet master with this zombie guy, and they show us that's already what she's doing, that she can't do that with the Pietro body because he doesn't exist in this universe anymore. Could she have grabbed Pietro from a different
I
universe?
thought that was obvious that that's what happened.
No, but that so
You just took 20 minutes to break down something that I was like, oh, she pulled him from another universe when he opened the door.
Now Steve's pissed because you took his shtick.
That's been that's been copyrighted for
Yeah,
what,
that's-
120 episodes?
Yeah, you can't steal his shit.
I'm sorry.
Get to the point.
I'm
He
sorry.
prepared an entire X-Men universe through Matt's eyes today too.
Yeah. I had an hour.
He reached
drive.
out to me about doing a
I
top
had an
10. I
hour
said, "Fuck
drive
you."
in the blizzard to
know
try
what?
to break down
Let's
this
talk about
cool
the real
stuff.
issue here.
Sorry, I like to think longer than 2 words. I know it's my
You know
problem.
how it feels now, don't you?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry, guys.
Let's talk about the real issue here. Red Sonja. 1985. Bridget Nielsen. 6'1". Comes into play. They're going to capitalize on the sword and sorcery thing after the popularity of Conan.
Okay.
All right, they're gonna put a girl out there, and they're gonna make a girl movie and make her all badass. This is 1985, mind you.
Yep.
All right, starts out she gets victimized, blah blah blah. She gets all badass. She's this great swordsman. She's beating all the guys at the sword place. She's got these spindly, weird looking legs and a mullet, and it looks horrible. Okay. And she goes in there, and they have a fight scene where these guys invade this tower, and there's these girl soldiers, and they hold these guys off. They make a valiant attempt, and they can't swing swords because they're girl actors, and they look stupid swinging. And they're you could tell that if this was real. Okay, I saw this as a kid. You could tell that if this was real, that just the clanging of the sword would vibrate their little hands so much that they just drop those swords right there and kill them all. But they made it look like it was
I'm
tough.
sorry, did you say you noticed this as a little kid?
No, I didn't notice this
Okay,
as a little
okay,
kid.
okay.
I saw this as a little kid and I liked it. I was like, oh, this is great. Because I didn't really have all this baggage that I have now. And the point is, how this is crazy. Is back in 1985, they did this. She is a strong female character. Okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. The bad person in this is actually the girl who played Valeria in Conan. Did you ever realize that? The villain in Red Sonja is Conan's girlfriend from the first one.
Holy shit.
Yeah. She plays her, and she can swing a sword. You know why? That's how you do a fucking badass girl. Because they gave her a little sword in Conan, and I think she had like a dancing background, so she could move. Nice. So she always outmoved every guy she was in, and it looked good because she would like hit him like 2 times before he even had a chance. He's wearing this bulky armor; he can't move very fast. It looked realistic. It's stupid when they make these bunch of scantily clad girls and these big broadswords, and it looks dumb. Anyways. This is where I'm going with this. Is they did all this.
You don't know.
Conan. I'll get there. Conan is in this. I thought it was Conan when I was a kid. Now I find out it wasn't Conan. It was Kalidor. My name is Kalidor. But he looks just like Conan, and you're like, oh, it's freaking awesome. I got Conan in this movie, which is why everybody watched it. No one gave a shit about Red Sonja. My wife is the same age as me. She doesn't even know it existed. So you know what? Getting the female demographic didn't work in 1985. This movie was a freaking failure.
Okay.
All this time is gone. Now we've got Wonder Woman. Oh, it's so great. We're finally going to push a woman. No, they've been doing it forever. For freaking ever, they've been doing it, and it's been failing. So that's why when I'm watching WandaVision.
Okay. Now we're here.
Okay.
And they gotta point out, didn't Wanda almost beat Thanos by herself? No, that was Captain Marvel. Shut up! We don't need to freaking ram that shit down our throats. Just let the characters be who they are. This is a long, drawn-out thing that's been going on for years.
We agree.
Nobody gives a freaking
We
shit.
absolutely agree.
Quit freaking ramming this shit down my throat. It's just It's bad writing.
Okay.
It's stupid. Nobody gives a shit about Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And now I hate.
No, listen.
Infinity War.
Okay.
Listen,
Because
listen.
you know,
gonna-
they
I
gave me the
gotta-
girl scene and all those
Okay,
girls
hey.
freaking, and I was like, okay, I missed it the first time around.
Okay.
But now I look back and I see it, and I'm like, you know what? They're just freaking ramming. This is like drinking from a fire
hey,
hose.
Listen to Bill. Listen to
You know,
Bill.
I need a glass of water.
Hey.
Don't turn the hydrant on and freaking drown me like you've been doing for 20 years,
Okay.
30 years, 40 years. Bullshit.
So
Thanks, UPS guy. Go ahead, Bill.
I only got to say this, Matthew.
Yeah.
Now you understand to stay in the shallow end of the pool, okay?
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I can't
You also
swim.
understand why I have to yell, because it'll just keep going. You did the nice like rubbing padding thing. You just got to yell.
It used to
over the
work,
top.
but my hand's not as soft as DeWitt's. That's a
You're
different.
actually pretty callous being a guitar player
I will say, Steven,
and a cocksmith.
for the writing, I know that you were. It sounds like you were triggered that you heard the word Captain Marvel, and I think that
They made the whole movie about how unbeatable
listen,
Thanos
listen.
is.
she could almost beat Thanos, Scarlet Witch, but I think that the only reason why they brought up Captain Marvel, it had nothing to do with wanting to trigger you. It had to do with Rambo, because her response to when they brought up Captain Marvel was specific for storyline telling purposes. That she wanted that point glazed over, and she quickly moved on. If you noticed, she didn't want to talk about Captain Marvel, because it sounds like, just my thoughts, is that they mentioned Captain Marvel, and it sounded like Monica feels like she was betrayed by Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel took off because that was her
No,
childhood
I
hero.
think the character saw the Captain Marvel movie and was like, "Oh my god, that piece of shit."
Well, they're actually talking about doing a Monica Rambeau like its own spin-off. And it's actually called Rambo First Blood, and it's her it's her getting her menstruation for the first time. So it's just after Captain Marvel left, and it's her struggling. Her mom's starting this whole thing with Sword, with Intergalactic. She lived with aliens, and it's her trying to navigate as a new
Necrophilia, I'm
teen,
okay with.
starting to
Menstruation,
have her
disgusting.
body, become a
Well, you
woman
kinda
with
started
all
this.
those other aspects going
I'm not a
on
fan of
around her.
menstruation either. I'm just
So-
not, I mean, to each their own. If you're a fan of menstruation, that's fine.
Why Quicksilver being there why it made me so happy that I got emotional was because
You're a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I believe that we were 10 years away from the X-Men in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have made no reference to, hey, we're moving on this soon. Fantastic Four is the same kind of thing. And I understand it. I get it. They got and they had this thing already planned, and now all of a sudden they get, you already had this great toy box, but now that you went to that kid's house that has every fucking toy because his parents spoil them rotten. Right. Now they have it all. And I think that there is this, little bit and now I'm sitting here going, holy shit, it literally can happen fast. And if they're willing to do stuff like this on TV, on Disney Plus, it could be really quick where we get.
Will Hugh Jackman return?
I honestly,
Just your guess. I know you don't know.
I think there very well could be a, like Matt's talking, where you get to see
cameo or something.
You get to see this in this universe, boom, here's Hugh Jackman and he's fucking doing his shit. I think they recast
The entire crew.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I mean,
They better keep James McAvoy.
you
They
tell me
better
if
keep
McAvoy
Fassbender.
said, "Hey, I want to be Captain."
Oh, I'd love it.
I'm sorry, if I want to be.
If I want to be
X.
Captain X,
Found
well,
you.
in that, and that's actually a great storyline. I've actually read that one.
Captain
where
X.
Professor Xavier actually has a baby with Captain Marvel. It's cool. I understand he can't walk, but it still works.
I love him. I absolutely, and people are gonna say I love Patrick Stewart. I get that, but to me, McAvoy is fucking Xavier.
McAvoy flushed out that character so
And
well.
Magneto. I mean, what's his name?
Fassbender.
Am I
Fassbender,
yeah.
am I gonna get my Old Man Logan series with Hugh Jackman because he's old?
That's the only
Wouldn't
way.
that
That's
be
the only.
amazing?
That's the
How
only way.
freaking
That's the
epic.
only way I see them doing that.
Who plays Old Man Hawkeye? Who
Who
is it? Who's the guy? Do they just age Renner?
I think Renner already kind of
Renner's getting old.
He is getting old.
He sort of has an older, even in the
He's
movie The Town.
haggard.
I think he's in his 30s in that movie,
Yeah.
but he just has an older
Yeah.
looking face.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think they could pull that off.
How sweet would that be?
So I'll tell you.
I mean,
Wanda,
needs a female hero. We got to figure that part out. But
Definitely.
Wanda walking out of that and saying, "Leave me alone." I'm like, holy shit.
Those
Now,
memes where she tilts her head, you know shit's gonna happen.
there's one thing I do want to ask you guys though too. So when Vision is going after her, he's
Yep.
prodding her. He's
Yep.
saying, "I can't remember anything about my life prior to us."
Right.
He's saying all this stuff, and I will tell you, I don't think it's a corpse walking around. I think it's Vision. I think she's made him whole.
He's
think,
back.
I think that flash she had seeing him as a
It's
corpse
her remembering.
is her just
what he looked
remembering.
like.
Yes, it was. She still has that in her.
It was her not able to block out all the bad.
I believe Vision is back. She
We were seeing those cracks in what she had built.
yes. She said though when he's pushing her, she goes
You never used to talk to me like this.
"Do you think I did all of this?
Right.
Do you think I'm controlling people going to the?" So I think there is still someone,
Another force.
There is
Right.
something out. Don't get me wrong, because this is what happened a lot in Wanda's stories in the comics. She would be breaking, and someone would
Take advantage of it.
take advantage of
Yep.
her.
Yeah, and that makes sense because how does she come out of this as a hero? She's imprisoned a whole town.
I'll tell you, she spent 10 years as a bad guy in the comics.
Oh yeah.
and not like a
Yeah,
bad
but do
guy.
you think they'll do that? They would. I don't think they'll do that.
I hope they don't but I also
I would love to see it.
I would love to see it too.
That would be amazing.
And let me show you too. She's had where she's been the bad guy, like the big bad villain kind of. I mean, earlier Avengers stories. She's also had where she was kind of the pawn, and she changed reality for her brother and her dad, who then was Magneto, and she did all this because they were poking her. You know, they were giving her, "This is what you need to do."
Here's a question I have to ask, and I truly don't know the answer because I'm not that schooled as you. They mentioned the names of her parents in this episode. Was it anything?
There's a couple things they did that I hate to say it. I would have to go back, and there was the name of the paper towel.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I couldn't. That name meant something to me, and I couldn't pull it out of my memory.
Did you see what it is?
No.
It's that town where she blew up that floor of people, and so basically the paper towel was the spilt blood. They show the wine on
You
the
got that off
table.
YouTube, or your wife did, right?
And
No, my wife texted me and said
Okay,
that's what that it was that town. My wife texted me and said I looked up what Lagos was and it's that town. And then I said, so you mean the paper towel was spilling the spilled blood that she spilled?
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy crap, that's beautiful.
tell me these writers aren't fucking geniuses.
That is brilliant.
I mean, it's
And like I said,
they don't
and
put
Lagos hit me too, but I couldn't.
it couldn't place it.
I didn't think to Google it. I'm not as smart as Rachel, but
I just was like,
So-
don't buy that other paper towel because it can't pick up shit.
So do you
as long as
think
there's a woman pushing, I don't care if she's got to use 8 pieces.
so do you think so it sounds like from what you're saying that there's some parallels with Phoenix and Jean Grey as far as her being super powerful, being manipulated, things like that. Do you think that they probably won't do this, but do you think that there's a way that she's controlling half of it and then her other craziness in the back of her head is control? Like, do you think because she said, I didn't cause that doorbell to ring, I didn't pull Pietro in here, is kind of what she said, but do you think that subconsciously that other side of her could have done
Very well
that?
could be.
Oh,
too.
yeah, like a split personality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that she's just so broken, crazy,
Right.
And definitely a good possibility. I shared a meme a while ago, and I'm talking like 2 episodes in, someone put it out there, and I don't know why we can't make memes. We should be funny. We should be able to do this. But someone had this beautiful meme where it's her, it's the actress, and she's like, you know, in this like fun little picture, and then it said what people watching the show are seeing. And then the next picture is this beautiful art. I wish I could remember who drew it, but it was right around Avengers Disassembled, which that right there is like a story you gotta read if you really want to know like where this shit is headed. But she is literally standing there like this, and her hand is breaking apart into little cubes. It's like she's
Like pixelating almost.
yes, like she's reality is, and she's got this look on her face like she's like, you motherfucker, like she's
Right.
out for blood.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's like and then it says, of course, what comic book fans are waiting for.
Right.
And it was like this thing where I'm just sitting there watching the show going, this is some great stuff. And so when Steve, like when I said, the Luke scene, what it did to me was it fixed a shitty story for starters, but it also gave me that scene I always wanted. Okay. The same thing for you. This is opening the door. The X-Men are literally one of my favorite properties to ever exist. And I would never act like I know everything about it or anything, but they're opening those doors and going, and we already know they're talking to the other Peter Parkers. And if that ends up being true, if we get that in a movie where we get Tom Holland fucking swinging through a fucking hex riff or something, and here's
Dancing with Tobey Maguire.
yeah,
Tobey Maguire.
him and Toby are freaking. Yeah. I mean, I'm
isn't it-
literally
and
as
isn't
a
it-
comic book fan, I'm gonna
can't
blow
wait.
my load.
Yeah, that'll
and
be great.
isn't it crazy that when you track all of the pieces of that the reality is that it came
We gotta get moving.
it came because of Into the Spider-Verse. Like you see Into the Spider-Verse, and then all of a sudden, like it seemed like the professional side, like the movie maker side of it, was like, wait a minute, we've got 3 Spider-Men already in movies. Like we already have actors, we wouldn't need to cast them. We got this and that. Like it seemed like Into the Spider-Verse was creative enough that it kind of pushed this stuff further along than it really
It
was.
was accepted enough
Right.
that people are like, oh, hey, wait, we could do this.
It's pretend we could do that.
It's a lot of the old school days. They constantly thought that the audience couldn't grasp it.
Yeah.
They were
Right,
like, the audience
that's
won't
it.
be able
Yes.
to grasp this. This
Yes.
is just too much. They basically thought we were stupider than we actually have proven to be. And so I think that the Spider-Verse is one of those things where it's like, no, they grasped it pretty good. And then not only was
Right,
it,
and it was
kind
fun.
of aimed towards kids, even
Yeah.
because it's a cartoon.
Right.
But we've got to move on. So
We do. I just
Okay.
want to say this, and just a little side note. Honestly, a lot of times these things don't work because actors don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So what does Disney have? Of course,
money.
stacks of money.
Yep.
And if you're Tobey Maguire or even Andrew Garfield,
Yeah.
what the fuck else they been doing?
Not a thing. I was gonna say, what have they been in?
Yeah. And they were both great Peter Parkers or Spider-Man,
Yeah.
one of the
Yep.
two.
Yep.
They haven't. That's not how it should work. That is not how it should work.
Right.
Well, those two are going to come back. Those are going to be like, fuck yeah. Oh, Disney, Marvel, I could maybe be in Star Wars. I'm fucking back. Let's go.
Yeah.
Relevant.
Didn't Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield do a
He did a war
military
flick.
movie that
Yeah,
was
he did like a World
Yeah,
War
it was
II.
a weird one.
He was a
though.
medic.
He was a pacifist.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge.
I literally saw the preview and I'm like, why would I want to go watch a war movie about a guy who won't pick up a gun? Why?
Because it was a true story. It was a good show.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nah, still not doing it.
Oh.
Intern Cody. It was producer Cody. It was badass.
I heard it was good too, but I haven't seen it.
All right, so moving on.
Moving on, I think we gotta go. We're not gonna do toy drama this week, are we?
We're not.
Man, I had some good stuff too.
We can.
I don't want. We gotta get to. What you
We
have
keep,
anything?
We keep having. I don't. What is there something going on?
I
that
know
I'm not
Steve is
aware of?
acting like there's something going on.
Well, we're at 124, and we've got a lot. I've got a lot of toys to talk about.
I do have some. I have toys as well.
I have toys as well.
So I think that
I don't have any toys, so why would I want to get into? Why do I want to push us to get to the constant reminder that I can't afford toys?
it's going to be painful for you today too. It's going to be really painful.
Yeah, it won't, because
He's like, I could take a nap right now.
Yeah.
I fell asleep twice already during his shit.
Let's do it.
I already did it. I'm not
Again.
doing it again. Thanks, UPS guy. Again, but hurry, because we got shit to do.
I will go first.
Well,
Nice.
Don't forget we have a box to open as well.
No, the big one.
Not that one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's start off with a bang.
I understand why you're feeling this, okay? But this is a multiverse.
That you are
Batman.
never going to open. You're not going to keep. You're going to flip in your booth.
No, I understand why you're saying that, but actually,
He's
this
going to
bitch
make a
is-
Mythic Legion out of it.
Batman Dark Knight's Death Metal. I have not read the comics yet. I've heard great things.
You
But
won't.
I will tell you, looking at this Batman, Pete, honestly, tell me what you think.
How many? How many Batmans do you need?
I agree.
Dishwashing Batman.
This is not going to fit in with Mythic Legions. There's too much modern shit on it. So
You don't care.
Dude, I'm not talking about the Batman. That coat,
You talking about the sickle?
and that sickle.
Those buckles and the. I don't know.
Yep. See,
I don't know if it's good.
and if Steve says it, you know it's right.
He's like a toy.
The sickle's
creator now.
cool. The sickle is cool.
I dare you not to say that that's a cool looking toy.
It's a cool looking
And
toy.
it's a cool looking toy, but it's
Are you a? Are you
I've been to a lot of
toy
heavy metal
creator, or are
concerts.
you
Nobody's
more of
ever
a
had a sickle.
consultant?
so.
Are you a consultant? Is that
I don't know. I run the gambit. I think at this point, I'm pretty much doing it all, except for the actual sculpting, and the producing and the printing. And
He's got like a chain for a wallet with a bunch of
Billing.
skulls. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
Mythic
a lot.
Legions.
There's a lot of stuff. I'm
There's a
not
lot of
doing.
goblins in Mythos, man. They try to steal your wallet without a chain on it. So
Cody, I have a box right
I can
behind
see
you.
it.
What you think, Cody? What do you think about that?
What's he using the sickle for?
No idea. Never read the comic.
That's why it's
a lot of Batman they chop wheat. That's how he. That's what the Wayne Enterprises actually started in wheat.
Oh, that's where
he got his
bat bike
fortune.
is his. I didn't realize that either.
Oh,
That-
the
that-
bone.
The bone bat
The bone
bike?
bat bike.
It's right
Oh,
behind-
Shit.
Which I've seen
But we
some
need that one
repaints
too, don't
of
we?
that are pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Next. Oh, this is a fun one.
Matt, can you grab that box for me,
Matt,
please?
I dropped that little box.
Yep, I'll get it for you too.
Okay. So what the cool thing about being a toy guy, okay?
The
and
poor
having
guy's
toy
gonna
friends,
open it.
Some people will just show up at your house and drop toys off.
Yeah.
And other things and like it's just a great feeling. You know, I walk in my house and I'm like, holy shit, and then I find something like this.
Wow.
What is that?
Magical.
Wow. Wow.
I care less about that than I did the Batman.
What is that?
I have no idea what this
Oh,
is.
I know what that is.
It's a sticker book.
Oh, it's a
It's
sticker book
sticker
I know where that
book.
came
with
from.
your trading cards. Yep.
That's for me.
Dude, I've been putting stickers in it and trying to match them up. It is so awesome.
It is.
What do you mean it's for you? This
It's
is
from
mine.
It's from Ron.
Oh, this is at my house. This belongs to me.
Yeah. Nice.
Even better.
Ah!
Whatever.
You find two of them.
And that little box, Matt.
I kicked it to you.
Oh, thank you. And this was also for Ron. I think this is part of it. You must be painting these so
Let
he
me see
can
them.
Yes.
do what he wants to do. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's a pretty neat little thing.
I remember those as a kid, and you don't see them around lately. You know, there was
Well, all that stuff
mean
was meant to be disposable.
40-year-old coloring books with stickers. You don't see them around much. That's weird.
I don't see these ones where you would buy this book and then you'd have to buy the packs to buy the stickers to try to finish the book.
That's weird, man. I remember, dude. I remember watching movies on Laserdisc. You don't see those around very much anymore.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
Next, I have
Ooh, nice. That's
the Forgotten Realms Dritz and Guinevere pack that I've waited quite a while for. Hasbro finally showed up for us.
are you gonna open it?
Yep.
Wow, look at this. This is a rare thing.
Not all the way. You're just taking the slipcover off.
Yes.
The slipcover is taped on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's lame.
I
I guess it's good for packaging, but
so
Well,
I
if it has tape on the slipcover, does that mean we might see them at retail? Because that's typically how they do that.
That's really cool.
are you handing it to me? Did you see it, Pete?
I did.
so this pack they've done a lot of really cool stuff in. If you're a D&D person, there's
But don't talk about being a D&D person. That is not looked upon well here.
we all support your D&D obsession. I
You've never
support it.
supported anything I've ever done ever in the history of the world.
So it comes with a die, right?
Yeah.
What?
It comes with a die.
Is
It comes with a die.
Yeah, I nailed it.
Is
And
there
I'm gonna
is there a
go-
name for
I'm
like
gonna-
the little spots on a die? Is there a term for those?
Yeah, ask Luke Kulikamp or one of the other Luke Kulikamps. He'll tell you.
It's a node, I think.
No.
Nib.
No. Anyway, who gives a shit? It's a cool
dot.
toy. I hate to say this.
That cat is sweet.
I will never really appreciate it because Mythic Legions has ruined any other toy line that is trying to capture that for me. While I love having it and it's a cool thing, it does not. Oh shit!
You should just open it now.
Nah, I don't give a shit. I actually like how it displays in the box. So we'll see. I don't really have a reason to open it. Thoughts, Steven?
He is. I would not call that a dark elf. I'd call that a light elf. He's he's off white.
Yeah.
What do you call that? He's an albino.
Yeah, he's more of a It's like wow, a dark elf, huh?
Yeah. That is a good example of kind of what's happening in the D&D world right now. Apparently, that they're trying to get away from the bad guys being black.
Well, and they're also talking about, and then in future editions, changing
So,
the classes.
By that, what you just
Is that
said,
offensive?
trying to get away
Or
from the bad guys
the
being
races,
black.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
This is a good guy, and you're making the good guy white.
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem?
It's backwards logic
It
all
does
the way
seem
around.
a little weird to me.
He literally is one of the best heroes in the realm.
Well,
and this is
That's
why
why
you
he's
do.
got to be white,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is that what
I
we're saying?
talked to my last 2 D&D rounds
That's
ago.
so
I talked
weird.
to
That's so weird.
with an adventurer in a bar about Dritz.
Oh, really?
Very cool RP
Oh,
moment, yeah.
And then last for me is one of our listeners reached out, Bill Sheldon, great guy, and he said, "Hey, I've got some classics that I want to sell. Are you interested in buying?" And you know me. So we had Eldor, right? I think.
Yep.
Eldor, mustache guy.
Ooh.
That's,
What's his name? Mustache
Rio
Ride?
Bravo? Is that Rio Bravo?
Mustache Ride. Yes.
Mustache Ride.
Mustache Ride.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Rio
She-Ra.
Blast.
Rio Blast.
She-Ra.
Which Shira? Let me see.
You tell me which She-Ra is that?
That's the first Shira.
Oh, is that a good one?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you hate women, no. But
Depends on
This beautiful.
depends on what you're looking
beast.
for. Oh yeah.
It's Faker, everybody.
Got a faker. Beautiful figure. The
Trap
original
jaw.
Original release faker. Trappy.
Drappy, who was one of my faves.
Love Trapjaw.
I'd like to have this one.
This one, who I for some
Cyclone,
reason,
Manny Faces.
Manny Faces. Good job, Peter.
Yeah.
I've always hated this figure.
Amazing. Many faces.
So are these you don't have these in your collection right now in your classics?
Just a couple of them I have actually.
You want me to get this for you?
Many faces.
He's
is-
gonna flip them.
I'm gonna flip them. And
Eyeball visor.
Does it turn? Try turning that. That's the one
I
that's
watched the video. All you have to do is just
just.
firmly.
Brian Flynn said, "Hold here and twist here."
Holy mother!
Yeah, that's the.
Wait, is
that's-
this one supposed to though?
Yeah, it is. That's one. That's the one he
the
sent.
Filmation one.
That's the one they screwed up and they sent a second head for. That's the Filmation version.
He kept the second head.
Look at this.
You should have a second head somewhere. No, I mean it got
But
sent
it's
to
not-
you.
It's not. It's
There's
not
this
that.
one.
Oh man, it comes with
Oh,
masturbation
I
hand. That's
see what
awesome.
you're saying.
Yeah. Or I can free that
What
one
the hell
up.
is this?
That's the
That-
many faces.
There's more heads for many faces. You can pull them apart and put those heads in there. And you get
Did
Skeletor.
he ever have these faces?
What is that? An Orco face?
He definitely had
Yes.
Orko face in the cartoon, but I think it's just that. It's just for if you
It's
want to
for
do something
fun.
cool.
It's fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
This pose is it? What's this guy's name? Strokor.
Stroke more. So I thought that was fun to get some
It was.
classics like that, and always enjoy it when a listener reaches out and wants to sell some toys. So thank you very much.
So you can sell some toys.
Yeah. We'll see. One of them, I think one might make it to my shelf, but I'm not sure. That's it for me.
All right, I got a little something for you.
Triclops.
I got one more for you, Trav.
Yep.
Took me forever.
Oh gosh.
I got a custom for you.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm hoping you like this. I did something a little different
oh, is
here.
this the one that you're talking about? You're
I
doing some
hope
weird shit?
I hope he absolutely just shatters you with this.
I hope he does.
I hope he finds nothing but complaints.
I hope he shatters me too. Like he
Okay,
shattered
I'm
that
ready.
chair.
Which chair? We're up to 3 now.
This is a little different.
Notice
than
they've
what I
all
usually
broken
do.
on that side of the booth.
Bill's probably gonna
Next
like,
coming across from
like
me.
where I was going with this.
Rest in peace,
At
wooden
least.
chair.
I don't know what you think. If it's
Oh my God, Steven. This is absolutely beautiful and might be one of your best.
Oh,
Really?
Look at the look on Pete's face. He is so disappointed right now.
What do you think, Bill?
Oh, I see what you were going for.
It's not really the way he'd have went about it.
No, this is fantastic, Steve.
Oh my gosh, what? Is this a head I gave you?
Yeah, it's one of those my action figure dwarf heads that you bought.
Yeah.
And that's the one I painted up. And I was like, I did the colors of that helmet, and I'm like, he's not gonna have anything that's gonna work with this. So I figured I better do the body for you too.
Oh, Steven.
Then I did a little bit of, I painted a weapon for you too,
Yeah.
just to.
Oh, buddy.
It's nice, man.
It is so
really is
good.
nice.
It's so good.
So good guy, right?
Yeah,
Look
I
at those colors. You think he's kind of a good guy.
Yeah, and I wanted to play with some metallics.
I like what you did with the horns too. Like, I
Oh.
don't know if I've seen people paint those horns that much. At least
Nah,
that I've
probably
noticed.
not.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people leave them bone, but I mean, it
'Cause
just
they
as
look,
well could be.
I mean,
metal.
they look so cool,
Right.
though. Yeah. Ah, Steve, it's
So it's a
wonderful.
dwarf figure. It's a My Action Figure Customs head.
Mythic Legion Silver Knight.
Yeah, and there's nothing other than the head. He's completely stock, just paint.
Wow. Ah, Steve, absolutely great.
What was the
job.
one that cut me to the core the one day? Oh, I see what you did there. It's just paint
Oh yeah, that's right.
with the Warbuster.
Yeah, nah.
Steve, the
It's
face. I mean, the sculpt's amazing, but your paint really brought it out, dude.
Yeah, you really, really missed the mark on that one.
He looks
I,
good.
I want to love it. I just can't.
How come?
What? I don't know.
If he gifted it to you, would you love it?
It's one of those things where it's like maybe it's not necessarily the work; it's kind of the person behind it. You know,
He
I
just
just
doesn't
I
like
just don't
me.
like Steve today. I just and normally I'm one of his biggest fans, but man, that just is not. It's not for me.
Well, well, yeah.
All right, who's next?
Are you ready?
I can be ready. Yeah. I'm gonna pass around some figures that I really enjoy.
Oh,
These are the Super 7 Conan figures.
Whoa.
Um,
All right, not removable helmet.
nope,
Lame.
but extra head.
Okay, extra head. I dig it.
So, I just passed. I don't know what the names of these Thorgrim and Rexer. They never say their names in the movie too much. They might say it once,
Oh, that weapon.
but that weapon is in the movie and it's badass.
This guy
And
looks
it's-
exactly like that actor from the movie.
Holy cow.
the actor James Earl Jones.
Is that who it is?
Yes. Darth
I was
Vader.
gonna say that, but it's obviously a super young James Earl Jones. But that
Yes.
they captured the face for sure.
Here is, and he has a helmeted version.
That's the kind of weapon I would see Pete wielding.
Helmeted version of James Earl Jones.
Yeah, that
I've-
sword.
What the hell?
The sword is great, except they're too big. That is too big.
Like it's not to scale
It's
up
not
the
to
sword
scale.
in the movie.
That's
40-pound cape.
that's
Who complains about the sword being too big?
Watch the movie. It wasn't that big.
Oh my god, you're such a nerd.
Which Hobbit is this one? This is Is this from the Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings? This
Dude
Bilbo.
was pretty ugly.
That chick is ugly.
So we've got
Jesus Christ, who wears their bangs like that?
It was pretty bad.
That character in
Or
that
the
movie.
wig, Yeah.
I like these swords a lot.
Oh.
Oh, this broken one. That's
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
sweet.
specified it was a
Conan's
wig.
father's
I just
sword,
assumed
and then-
James Earl Jones had long hair for a long time. So thanks for that.
That's really cool.
Used to crowd the plate so much it would almost disappear.
yeah.
You can
these
say whatever
guys
you want.
are
That's
awesome.
that's James Earl Jones' best role in
Not
any
so
movie
much.
ever.
No, I don't like the thinness of the swords. It's very of some of the swords. They're very pliable and flexible. They look great sculpts. But Bill's got the Conan sword, the iconic Conan sword in his hand.
Was it Atlantean sword?
I think that's what they call that, yeah. And so I had that in the hand of a figure that fell over. And it fell over and it bent the sword and it stayed there for a day until I saw it, and then I straightened it this morning the best I could with hot water. But they're so weak that if anything happens like that, their blades will just bend, which I don't really
Hey,
like.
You think with your connections in the toy production world now that you could maybe find somebody to cast that in like a maybe a pewter or a lead?
I don't know.
Someone's gonna do it.
I don't know. And then of course we've got Pit Fighter Conan here.
The detail on these weapons
They're,
is
they're amazing. That's going to go into Mythic Legions because this Conan didn't have the sword yet. This Pit Fighter Conan, this is before he found the sword. He shouldn't have the sword. It was, he was let go.
Hey,
After-
Pete, I feel like when you disagree with Steve and you show that, like he's winning. Like he's happier when he sees you should actually just go along with it.
Oh, I really don't care. I'm gonna sleep like
I
a
know.
baby tonight, regardless of what Steve thinks.
You know who else is gonna
the,
do
the
that?
attention to detail is pretty damn amazing. The sculpts are amazing. The paint jobs are amazing. Like I said, the guy has got a 40-pound cape. Man, that's substantial to get that amount of detail in the flow.
I'm gonna
They're very nice.
I would replace that cape with a
Cloth.
Yeah, soft goods.
yeah, right off of Mythic Legion. To be
It looks
honest,
great, but he needs to be furry. You need to find something black.
No, I think those. Well, I don't. We haven't had a black furry, but
No.
the Legion's
I mean,
furry one.
those
you could
cool.
just go down to a fabric store and maybe find
Yes.
some.
You probably could. There's some cool weapons here for
You can
Conan
set
was
that down.
pictured using in the pit fights.
It looks like they obviously gave a shit about the source material.
they did.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it looks like they
look-
really.
The sculpts are fantastic. Some of the thicknesses on the plastic is not great, but I mean otherwise they're great.
No, the attention
Careful,
to
Bill. You start
details.
saying shit like that. Next thing you know,
I
everybody's
worked
like,
on his.
you
face
should
a
talk
little.
with him.
You did a little paint on this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the face.
because it tells it doesn't look as shiny as what it originally did in your pictures.
You already painted these?
Just him, just his face. I did a little work.
To dull it
How much
down.
did you pay for that figure?
I don't 45 maybe.
And the first thing you did when you got it was paint it because it wasn't good enough?
The
I
first thing about my wife is gonna kill me if you don't talk about prices.
Well, look at
The first rule,
Look at the
right?
shine on that. It's something that Super 7 does do. They
Sometimes,
put
yeah.
this, and it's not all the time, but it is something like that shine.
It used to be all the time.
Yeah, they've kind of fixed it, but I don't like if you compare that shine to this, which is the one that.
Plus,
he
I
painted.
redid his eyes,
Oh, okay.
And gave him some blush.
and
What-
I gave
I
him
was,
Why did it
some.
look like he was
I
just
was
in
gonna
Nevada?
mention. I was gonna mention he was a little blushy.
I did put a little
Little bronzer.
color on the lips too because he didn't have any, and if I don't know.
You put some.
That's just
lipstick
and
on
that's and that's one thing that I will always say
Oh.
for the amount of detail and the price point of these. The first thing you do when you get them shouldn't have to be paint them.
No, but most people won't. But there's very few people out there that have the skills I have.
To see these eyes are a lot better than that.
He's so proud of himself for that one. That's so exciting.
What'd you say, Pete, about the head? You like that one?
The eyes are very good on this
Yeah,
one.
they're cool.
This is a beautiful sculpt.
It is.
I mean, it is like I said. It's all.
This is an ugly woman.
It looks like him though. Like
I know.
it
They
looks
were
like the
ug-
guy
both,
in the
both
movie.
These dudes were ugly.
Yeah, they had these dumb wigs on, or I don't know if they were
Oh.
wigs, but they look like it. But I love that about Conan, how gritty
I don't
it
think
is.
they wore wigs.
They-
Trevor
they're not
just said
like-
James Earl Jones didn't wear one.
They're not like like Kylo Ren when he takes his helmet off and his hair's like,
Yeah.
they take those helmets off and the hair's stuck to their forehead. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
real gritty, I just like that.
I like the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was next to death. He,
Yeah, he's
Why did he
sweating
look-
and
Hey, I thought he was gonna be prettier. Hey, have you and Pearson watched Conan yet?
No.
I watched it, and then I watched, like I said, I just watched Red Sonja, and it was so great.
If they would give me a King Conan now, I swear to God, it would be my nerd fandom. Life would be complete.
That's like the bearded gray hair, that one
Yeah.
from Aaron's run on.
Well, and even at the end of Conan the Destroyer, they gave you this scene of an old Arnold sitting on a throne and talking about how he finally became a king, but that's a story for a different day. And it just, why? that never happened. You know, it just blows my mind. But then again, Steve would say, well, I'll tell you why it didn't happen, because you couldn't have Conan nowadays and blah, blah, blah. It'd have to
Kathleen
be-
Kennedy.
You can't have Conan nowadays. It's very hard to have Conan nowadays, anyways, I should say. But sticking along with Super 7, I also
Oh,
got
jeez.
another
Those are great looking turtles.
Oh, my gosh, they're so awesome.
Leonardo.
The
This is
best.
like-
The best turtle.
How many Turtles figures do you need?
And don't start being right now. Keep it going.
Just that one.
Well,
in
that's
my
what I'm
opinion.
saying. I'm glad I've never bought any, because now I have like 7 lines to choose from if I ever want to buy the 4 turtles just to have the 4 on a shelf. What's up with this belt? Is this
That's
legit?
added detail. There's
Okay.
like
He painted that when he got it. He's like, yeah,
No.
I just didn't, the L didn't pop for me. I figured I'd throw a little paint on that. And,
I didn't
Oh.
touch these.
Leo. He was the second best turtle.
yep.
Who's the first, in your opinion?
It's tied between Michelangelo, Raphael, and Donatello.
My first?
Yeah.
It's always been Raph.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I like him.
by far.
I think he's meathead. I like Mikey because he always keeps it light, like me.
Raph is the backbone.
I want to nunchuck you in the fucking face.
Raph's the leader. He even says it in the song in the movie.
It does. He's a leader, Raphael.
The guy that wrote the song has no idea what he was writing.
He's just sitting there smoking a joint. I'm writing a song about some turtles, I guess.
That little meme that you shared.
This,
So good.
It's like, oh, he's a turtle. He's a mutant. You guys
What,
are
so
so
this is Super
close-minded.
7,
No, he's a
6-inch
teenager. You're
turtles.
going to jail.
that's what this line is.
Yep. Sculpted by the
great
Horseman. Wired cape. We all know how
This
I,
is freaking
all know how I
so
love
great.
wired capes.
Okay, and obviously,
Travis's.
We actually bid that to
obviously
Cody.
we know that he was Asian in that movie, but when they cast in the newest reboot, what's that guy's name? The actor that we thought was going to be Shredder.
Oh yeah, I can't think of his name, but yeah, I
He's a
know.
white dude. He's like a pretty
Oh,
famous actor,
Yeah.
and he looked like
He
the
plays-
animated
he plays
version
Captain
to me.
Canauer in The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler.
Yeah. I just loved. Oh,
I wish the tops of the thighs went up a smidge more over the balls.
Yeah. If he, I'd like to see him cover up his balls a little better.
But if you get into a dynamic
it's-
pose, I'm
it's
sure
good-
you lose that.
Yeah,
know?
it's good for your articulation. Though I think I like these guys' articulation. They work well. What's
Right
wrong?
around- Right around his balls.
You smelling his balls?
He's beautiful.
Yeah, he's amazing.
that's
and,
awesome.
and he's got a 14 pack.
And I didn't bring his extra head where they've got the eyebrows painted up on his helmet
No,
like
weird.
some of the original.
Yeah.
This is straight out of everything that I love,
yes.
and they used all of the modern technology, and they made them bigger, and they made them better, and they're amazing. They did a great job.
Yes.
Did a great job. Can't wait till my
Yeah.
pre-order comes. I just gotta order it.
Mutagen Man is up next. Now, the only thing about Mutagen Man, I'm not attached to this character. I think he came a little later in the line. I never had it as a child. I had the first 2 years of it. I think I was only missing one character, and I don't remember which one that was. But, anyways, apparently Mutagen Man used to fill with water, or it came filled with something.
It came filled with. I'm pretty sure that it would yellow, if I remember correctly,
Okay, so
or it would get stuff trapped because you played with it in the tub. I don't remember, but I remember
a
DeWitt
little
talking
turtle in
about it
there.
at one point.
well he has all these little pieces you put in him, like
Yeah.
little.
There's a little turtle.
Yeah, you could shake them around, but they tell you can't put water in this one. Apparently, people
There's
have
a
done it, and it
fish.
makes it all cloudy. And Super 7 has been up front saying, "Don't put water in it."
What do
So-
you think these guys were when they designed this stuff back in the early 90s, or is it late 80s when they made the original Turtles?
88 was
the
it-
figures
was it 87?
was 88. Yeah.
88. Like, what were they smoking when they were like, we're gonna design this guy?
They weren't smoking anything. That's LSD. So, I mean, to come up with that, that's acid. That's all the way.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a cool ass toy. I have no connection to it.
Me neither.
I have,
But he looks great up on the shelf with all these wacky colors.
yeah, just neat.
Yeah.
I understand why Pete. I mean, I never really give him a hard time about turtles either because I get it. But man, if you think about what kids, how we were young, and to have these kind of toys, those colors, and I mean, I bitch about the neon GI Joe because that wasn't my GI Joe.
That was my GI Joe.
Yeah, and I
Right.
get that.
I'm Alley Viper all the way.
But this was always Turtles.
And that's the thing. The episode of the Toys That Made Us, or I think that's what it was called, of Turtles, where they said they put those things on the shelves and they didn't order very many of them, but kids saw those turtles in that first wave and were like, I don't even know what it is.
Nope.
I'm buying it.
Gotta have it.
yeah. Damn. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is great.
I just said this again the other day. We literally are living in the best time to be a toy collector. And anybody that goes, oh no, the 80s were all blah blah
Yes.
blah. We're literally getting
Not a great time to be a American
The
or white, but
yeah, the only thing the '80s have on over today was the price point.
yeah. When you can pay $1.99 for a Joe.
Imagine having your budget now and the prices of then.
And the,
Oh, yeah.
and the crown jewel.
Fuck. That is cool.
What the fudge?
He's a monster.
This is Bebop. Bebop has been released in the NECA line. I will tell you, this guy dwarfs that one.
Yeah.
He is much larger than the NECA version.
And
He
they
should
they
be.
should be. Yes.
he's a big badass warthog,
And
man.
he comes with 2 heads
This is freaking
because
cool.
there was a version that has this pink overspray on it,
Man,
and
you
then
guys freaking passed me all this bullshit Conan right away. Get the turtles over here. Oh, go ahead, Bill. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna hand it to the camera guy.
Oh my gosh.
This is my Bebop.
look at I never noticed that he had a leg brace,
I never noticed he had a leg brace either. Till
but
just
apparently it's sculpted on the original toy, but it's not
now.
painted.
It's not painted. Nope, it's just a.
God, they killed it with these.
That's cool. And that's Super 7?
Yeah.
Yes.
They've come a long way, huh, Pete?
All of the weapons come on a sprue.
I made
Unpainted.
abundantly clear I was going to be pretty upset if they freaking screwed up my turtles. But
What?
give credit where credit's due, man. That shit's
Look
amazing.
at the stuff hanging off as turtle shells.
Mhm.
I don't know if those were on the original toy at all.
I can't imagine they were, but that's
They might have been sculpted on,
amazing.
but like not
They're-
hanging like that.
Yeah,
because
there's a skull sculpted in there, but I do not believe it hangs down. It's actually up on the shell.
right. Where's comparison time, Steven? Where's your other freaking
I
figure?
don't have them. Pete would have to have them, and we don't know which plastic bag they're hanging in.
Actually, all my turtles are sorted by year, and they're all in their own individually labeled bins. So why don't you put that in your pipe and smoke it, fucker?
Go get them, buddy.
Not too lazy.
Oh, that is a beautiful toy.
They're killing it with the turtle line.
Nice.
I love these Conans. I really love the turtles. The turtles are so fun to have up on a shelf. They do the same thing. Masters of the Universe is always so fun because of the colorfulness of it and everything. And turtles are just that's something they share in common with it. And they're just they're crazy.
So, I know that Super 7 gets beat up, okay?
Yeah.
And Pete is definitely voiced his opinion on that sometimes, but they are giving us, I mean, one, for them to land the Turtles license was huge for them.
Yeah.
It was huge for them. But these Conan toys, how long have we wanted these?
Forever?
Forever.
When didn't we see these at PowerCon 2 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, most of these.
Yeah.
We saw a different Conan, and they didn't have Thulsa Doom yet. So we saw this guy
Right.
and
I
the
remember
other
that.
But
guy.
but what I mean by this is, if Super 7 hadn't done these, we
Never get
got
it.
him.
That's
No.
what I love about that company is they're our age. They're us going, these are the toys we wanted. And guess what? We're going to do it. And
Right.
yet, don't get me wrong, there's been some issues here and there, of course.
Right.
Thankfully, it was all with Masters of the Universe.
for the
Yeah,
most
they
part.
definitely
Yeah.
cut their teeth on Masters of the Universe.
But man, they didn't make a ton of
So-
money on this line.
So you guys took one for the team.
You know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they made money, but I don't think they made it. They're going to make a shitload of money on the Turtles.
Right.
Well, now just randomly like those bucks and parts of those that's all reused stuff, or some of it's probably reused. You would
It's the
assume, right?
classics body.
That's what I'm saying. So
It's
you know
He-Man.
they were able to cut the corners in certain areas, but
But then you look at this Thulsa Doom, and I don't.
it's all new. It's all new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even this, I mean, it's don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying. The thighs, the biceps,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the chest. But there's so much new parts on this too.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Super 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard they got a new like $1,000 Thunder tank or something coming soon. So that's
Well,
kind
I'm
of cool.
telling you right now, people can say whatever they want, man. You were mean to Super 7. Well, obviously they listened, and you're welcome, everybody. So, all my emails, it worked. Started a petition. You all know how petitions work. What you got, Matthew?
Oh, I just had a couple minor small things. Some of it was gifts. So let me
Gifts or GIFs?
gifts. But
Oh, with a T.
okay, so these two land sharks, hard to find at a couple of their targets. If you guys hadn't noticed, my wife is toy hunting recently,
Best thing in the world to have.
and so because she always does her grocery shopping and her running around anyway, so she kind of said, you know what, I'm gonna have fun with it. You already make me go in the toy aisle, so I might as well have fun with it. So I got these for Steven and Jeremy. So those are from my wife.
Land Sharks
Land sharks from the Hot Wheels line.
in the Hot Wheels line. Nice. Thank you.
This skateboard is part of the Christmas present that I gave to Jeremy. It is the Alfred and Michelangelo 2-pack from GameStop that was on sale for like $4 randomly. But the RAF and the one that I wanted was like $50 still. So obviously, so that goes to Jeremy as well.
Why don't we just leave this here because Jeremy will be here.
And then
Well,
I was just
hopefully
going to
he
show,
brings a chair.
obviously,
So,
well, I can't share that on camera because that's something that I need to give to Steven and have him do his paint magic on because I guess he's the best. He's the best painter.
I'm retired.
Yeah, so
he doesn't have a kitchen sink. He's
Yeah.
not necessarily worried about
open
painting
up
right now.
space.
The
But
only thing
I
he's
was,
painting is his house.
I was going to
walls.
show a couple other random things just quickly. They're obviously stuff that you guys have seen everywhere, but my wife picked these two up because they were both like $5.
Oh,
I don't collect Marvel Legends, but I do collect Marvel Legends movie universe figures. And so we have the Mystique, the Marvel Mystique, and the Domino from what movie is that? Deadpool 2.
both beautiful figures.
Beautiful figures. My daughters love Deadpool and Deadpool 2. My 13-year-old daughter wants to watch Deadpool and Deadpool 2 all the time now. So they enjoyed that. So cool
How does
figures.
she
They go
like
up on my
the-
movie shelves.
How does she like the sex scenes?
The sex montage I skipped over. I just said they have a lot of sex and they're together for a long time. I think there's the sex scene where they
You
have
tell
sex.
your
on it.
daughters about that there's sex? I told my daughter sex is a lie. It doesn't exist.
Oh, well, good luck with
Because
that.
Matt actually has sex though, so that's not truthful in his world.
And then obviously this one was super marked down. I think it was $7 or close to it. But
I like this.
they had the Squirrel Girl, and she comes with 3 squirrels and a little moped. But the moped's cool because I picture like it on a shelf with Deadpool on it or something like that. Would be kind of fun. And honestly, Squirrel Girl is a very cute character. Bull crap, Travis. You know you would lift up that squirrel tail. all day
Anything
long.
that Rickelman is super enjoyable is not for normal people.
And then my last 2 minor things, because make this quick, are things that just I like because I like toys. And so I had to show my wife got me this 2-pack from the new Scooby movie that came out, and it's actually a pretty enjoyable movie. But I think this guy's name is Dino Mutt,
Yeah, I remember him.
and I just love the freaking character. He just looks cool to me.
Isn't he from?
He's from one of the other Hanna-Barbera shows.
Blue Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it came as a 2-pack, but I passed that thing. I'm just like, oh, I kind of like that. And for the past year I did that, and then all of a sudden Christmas I opened up a box and it was that guy. I just think it's a cool figure. So
I
Cool
think
toy.
it's that show. I like the.
you guys
Blue
get to look
Falcon.
at this too. Look at it,
I'm looking at it.
son of a bitch.
Trying
And
to
then the
tell my
last
kids all the
one.
time, you don't have to put your hands on something.
Whenever
to look at it.
whenever you guys, this is for the office here because you guys only hang up cool stuff. It's an old school Marvel Toy Biz, but it shakes like a vibrator. And whenever you think something's gay, I want you guys to reference this figure because this is Richter. He is a gay character in Marvel. And so now you have a gay figure here. Needs to be
Does it
more.
really
Oh,
shake?
we got a gay figure here.
There needs to be
already.
more representation.
He's a third of the podcast.
Oh,
what are you talking about?
Steve broke it.
Richter? No, he didn't. He was gay.
So yeah, that's it. I got
Nice,
some stuff for
Matthew.
off the camera, but I had to actually show stuff.
This thing's
This
broken.
time.
And it's not, I didn't break it.
Whatever.
I might have just broke it.
You're wrong.
And Bill?
I have a new sickness, I think. Although I haven't actually built one yet, but I'm looking forward to
That
it.
that means you definitely have a sickness.
Yeah, because this is I think this is like model number 20, 21, 22.
I definitely
Gundam.
he did break it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve broke it. Steve
Well
broke
done,
the
Steven.
toy.
It didn't work.
doesn't
when
bite-
he handed it to
it's
you.
like-
Glue
it's
it
like
together
show
and then you
code.
would paint it. That's insane.
Does it have to be painted or does it come?
It doesn't have to be painted, but I will get into panel lining it and the whole deal.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Every time I see one of these, I'm like, those things are so freaking cool.
But it is
It's
all
cool.
it's glue. It's,
It's a
not
model
stab,
kit. Oh,
right?
yeah, it's a model kit on sprues.
So it's obviously
it's
Gundam. What is
maybe
that?
1,000, 1,500 pieces.
But he's asking, do you add glue it or do you stick it snap
Oh no,
together?
they snap together.
Oh, see now I would snap
It's-
something like
it's
that together.
It's like super.
I'm gonna get one of these and I'll snap it together. Like every time Steve starts talking, I'll just go back to my
Yes,
Gundam.
you go.
You know what I mean?
So like, it's articulated though when it's done, isn't it?
Yes, if you look at the package, there's a like a
Oh,
subskeleton.
it's got some sweet ass poses too.
Yeah, highly
Yes.
articulated. I mean, it's a model. It's not really a toy, but I mean,
Where do you?
Oh,
buy
so
those?
you build the skeleton.
I got that at Galactic Toys.
Aren't they now those selling them?
Oh, I go in there, and every time I go in there to look, like 4 times now, I force myself to
Is
go
it-
in there and
but
look.
isn't
just quote
Walgreens
look.
Walgreens
They have
some now?
they have figures, not the
Oh,
model
okay,
kits.
gotcha,
So they're
gotcha.
actually articulated figures, but there are so many
That's
different
cool.
variations on
That's
all
cool.
these different mechs, and it's just
I feel like there's like it's an 8,000 page instruction booklet.
No, it's
yeah,
probably actually
it's a
is
it's
she
a
like
it's
this?
a it's assembled by number and photo, and anything written in it is in Japanese. So
I heard she can't stand, by the way.
I didn't plan on standing her.
Oh, all that tail she gets, she can't stand.
I will say I would have supported a Squirrel Girl TV show
Pretty
movie as long as they were going to get that hot chick from the AT&T commercials, I think it is, or
Yeah.
Oh
or,
yeah.
if they would
I
have
think
done
that's what they or
Yeah.
was in the works.
but it,
from
it
what I
fell
heard.
through.
Yeah, she seems like
Oh.
she could.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be
I
a
would
real
be in. I would be in on that. It's cool, Bill. I get it.
Is that so? That's anime. No, it's from an anime or a
think so.
manga comic.
So I don't really know
As far as the
anything about it.
character- okay.
I just go in and look at them, and
Yeah.
the ones I like, I get them.
yeah,
And I'm like, I'm gonna start putting them together.
that's cool.
What's the price point on something like that?
This one was $29.
Oh, geez,
not
I
bad.
thought you were gonna say 100.
Yeah,
I bought 2 that are that much.
Chris Kelly jumped in and he says, "Hey guys, is that Admiral Akbar, Mini Pete, or Matthew Rodriguez?"
You guys are- Fuck you. Who said it? Who said it? I don't even know who you are.
Christopher Kelly. He's been with us.
No, no, I
He's a
like
long
that. I
time
like that
listener.
guy.
He's
I like
been
that
with
guy.
us for a long
I like that guy.
time.
The thing is, you guys, Steven's laughing over here. He's smirking. You guys all have these alter egos. You guys think I have enough time for that bullshit.
He don't. I mean, you guys know he don't have enough
And
time.
plus, like I said before, my main point is it's not funny. Those guys aren't funny. So it's not me.
Matthew, I will tell you with 100% honest certainty, I have one Facebook and one Facebook only, and it's Pete McCarthy. That's why I have to go on shows and apologize to people because I don't have a bunch of fake identities.
He's quote unquote real.
All right, we got a package in the mail to the big boys at Cloud9 from Hive of Villainy.
We've had this for a while.
This
too.
is from that Ryan guy.
It's
Yes.
from
It
Ryan.
is
Yeah.
from
Well,
Ryan.
Not Rye Guy.
We
No, not Ryan guy. This is from Busey, I think.
Listen,
Bussy, I ran into him at a couple toy shows before. He's
he's a good dude. He's crazy.
really
He's a
crazy
good
guy.
dude.
Good,
Yeah.
fun guy.
Yeah.
I bought a couple of vintage.
Some of my
Items
favorite
from him.
Some of my favorite toys in my collection I bought from him.
Nice.
Why are you trashing the room?
Seventh Kingdom.
It's his room.
I'm gonna break the chair here in a minute too.
He's
Just to-
gonna act. Yeah, but
be
you
cool
see,
like
then he'll
you.
come in next time and he'll be like,
Travis, Stephen,
Coach
Pete, happy 2021 and huge, girthy, voluminous, full-figured, hefty congrats on 200. Love you dudes, love your show. Here's to surviving the murderous wrath of our sexy significant others for many years to come. Enjoy the portly gifts from the Hive. The dice box is obviously for Pete. The Overwatch is obviously for Steve, and I know he likes them thick. the other items you dudes can fight for. Warmest wishes from Toy Town, USA, Cincinnati, Ohio, from Buzz, a.k.a. Ryan Buzzy, the Hive of Villainy. Sorry about Gretchen Whitmer. And then he says something else colorful about her that I will not read on the air. Well, thank you very much. Let's see what we got. This is a vintage. I recognize it, and I can't think of why. They want to jump in and help me here?
Dark Waters.
Oh, yes.
I love Dark
Hey,
Waters.
wait,
That's a
whoa,
you
whoa,
thing.
whoa,
Make sure
whoa,
you guys
whoa.
check out
That was it.
www.hivetoys.com. HYVE.
I'm gonna replay.
Facebook Hive
I'll
of
give you
Villainy.
guys. I'll give you mine that I have. This is going on my shelf. I'll give you the crappier one that I have.
No, it's
Oh
ours.
wait, you're gonna let your Shaggy figure slide for that? Not your Shaggy.
Can you see it? That's what I look at. Oh,
The Stay
yeah.
Puft Marshmallow
Oh, nice,
Man.
nice, nice,
Cool.
nice.
That's staying here.
Yes, it is. Oh, he's got layers like an onion. It's
We
all
got
fat
some
people. This
Shrekky.
makes me so happy.
We got some.
It's all fat.
It's all
Oh.
fat people.
Obviously, it's all fat people.
No, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what that is, other than inappropriate as hell.
This is hilarious.
What's this meat from the newest Turtles?
Is it meat sweats?
Meat sweats. Yeah.
He just like we just we have to like fat toys. This is highly offensive.
Wait, here, line them all up.
Travis, this is for you.
funny.
Cody.
Here, you got it.
I'm assuming that's for you. That's what he said, right?
Yeah, I don't think he did. I don't think in the note actually said anyone was for me actually, but we'd have to go back. I didn't hear you say that.
The
but-
Overwatch. Oh yeah, right up Steve's aisle. Look at that. Like some thick.
Yep.
Oh, and she's got that haircut too.
Yep.
And she's got that haircut.
That is Steven's dream girl.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right up. I love
Look at those
that.
hips.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
How many babies can?
And I got a dice box.
Oh my gosh. This is.
The Micro Peter 4-pack. Little 4-pack of condoms.
Who else has ever gotten an obesity themed care package?
That's amazing.
from Elise.
Ryan, you're the man. Thank you so much.
Here, put that up there. I'm gonna take a little quick,
Oh my gosh.
quick shot of the fatness.
This is freaking genius.
Oh,
The
Oh.
funny thing is, it's genius, but there's a reason why fat action figures were just sitting around in his booth.
Who wants those?
No, nobody wants.
everybody loves Stay Puff.
Stay Puft's that's a
Stay
great
Puft,
figure.
that's the.
That's a great figure.
Oh, and that Asian thing's got to sit on this podcast table.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You know what I
too.
mean?
Oh, that's Mini P when he grows up.
Thank you again, Ryan. We greatly appreciate your support.
Oh,
Oh, that's hilarious.
dude, so good.
Dude, that chick's pretty hot.
It's actually this box. Unfortunately, it got here right after the last time we recorded here.
Yeah, and then we did Skype for
the
2
last
weeks.
Two, yeah, and so like this box has been sitting here for a while. Holy shit, that is
Hilarious.
hilarious.
So
Look
good.
at these flip flops, man.
Don't lose this
The
sword.
bad guy running around with flip flops.
And the baggy pants.
What's
Uh,
that
I
from?
think this is you,
Dark
Trav.
Waters. It was a
Pirates
Pirates?
of Dark Water.
Yeah,
Hanna-Barbera. I think there was a cartoon for half a season about. I just like the toys.
it was kind of a fun. I enjoyed it when I was a kid. It was kind of like there was a black water, like a tower, like, and if your boat got, it would eat.
Tell me Travis couldn't cosplay that.
Oh.
It's fun, but he totally is wearing like a woman. Is this a woman's bathing suit? I mean, look at.
Like I said, tell me Travis couldn't cosplay
What's
that.
hilarious is yes, that looks like a woman's bathing suit
It's a woman's one
A
piece.
hefty woman's bathing suit.
to go over his big titties. Will that fit right behind one of the panels? Oh man, so good.
Nice.
Add it to the wall.
Very cool.
Cody missed out on that.
The wall of shame.
Amazing.
That was good shit. Ah.
Well,
Sorry if you were coming here for toy news. There's a lot of it. Guess what?
Go find it.
Yeah, good luck. The toy drama is piling up, but we had our fair share of drama this week with the Peter versus Bobby drama. It'll be back though. We'll get it back.
How often does the drama actually get that close to the eye of the storm being Pete and this show? Is it? I mean, I know you guys often spout about random threads that your fans send you, but I mean, this was
it's the first time I shit talk somebody that David Bond's friends with. So that was the deciding factor. But,
I still to this day I'm glad Dave did it. I thought.
And like I said, it's not. I mean, we joke about the tattletale stuff, but I'm like I said what I said.
Yeah, and
that wasn't a secret. I said it in public. You know, so.
Oh.
Well, looks like Steve's trying to wrap up the show. He's obviously got somewhere to be today.
He won't tell us where.
He's so
but
excited
he's got
about pigs in a blanket and Super Bowl commercials or something. Apparently,
he's got a Super Bowl party to go to that he didn't invite us to.
No, he's got to go home to get into his toy room before the people show up for his Super Bowl party. He doesn't want anything to do with them. Huge thanks to Joe Crazy Bill, and welcome to truly. You're finally actually in West Michigan now. You know, the poser GR people that say, we're from West Michigan. No, you're not. This is West Michigan, and you are the western of the Westons.
I was going to say, if
you are on the beach, baby.
I'd be in the lake.
Matthew Rodriguez, I'm not going to try to do what Steve did because I can't. Make sure that you guys check it out if you are interested with a solid, reliable used car minus floor mats. Make sure you go down and see Matthew Rodriguez. Host Stephen Bisciotti, co-host Travis Bullseye, and Pete McCarthy. And until next time, we love you, Bobby. YouTube, thank you very much for coming out this morning. Always an absolute pleasure to have you guys. Of course, thanks to our guests. Thanks for the commenting, the interaction. Most of you. The marble talk, I think, got a little bit out of hand, but we appreciate it very much. So we're going to try to do this more often. Big thanks, of course, to producer Cody out there for making all this happen. Hope you guys like the camera angles and seeing the figures a little bit. So